Hello, and welcome back to the 12th session of our Adventures in Excordia campaign. I'm Connor, your GM, and playing with us tonight we have Karen, played by Pyro.
Driving on the bone cart. Bone cart.
Dat Rat, played by Dom.
Squeak.
Cricket, 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 cricket.
Squeak, squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeakerson, squeak.
And Dario, played by Norvin.
Another settlement needs your help.
Oh,
Fuck Preston.
no.
Oh,
Silver, played by Tristan.
Hello.
Katira, played by Liv.
Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet.
He'll be dead in a moment.
Morgana, played by Shane.
We do not understand. Who is this Mr. Roboto, and why must we thank him?
No. And Zankiri, played by Fergus.
Oh, look. A puppy.
Not anymore.
What are you doing to that puppy, Sankiri?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Anyway,
Daddy needs a new pair of hat.
pair of hat.
Pair of hat, two of them.
Yeah, one for him, one for Varshi. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two little puppy ears for Hershey. Fuck.
Still a better plot than Cruella.
Anyway, last we left off, you all had finished your trip towards Etherfort and had gotten in on the first day of your endeavor towards this congressional ball. There's about 85% of the representatives have already made it, and you've been told that the rest of them will have made it by tomorrow. You all had also gone and ingratiated yourself with a few different representatives. I can reveal, because I think I've said it to a few people, that work you all did lowers the DC for the future. When you all go to... Sorry, I had to move paper. When you all go into the actual, trying to persuade people, these relationships and little things you're doing now help lower the DC of that, depending on, for example, talking to, we'll use the Necromancer representative. Zankir's conversation with her helped lower the DC so that when it comes time to convince them to vote on the governance policies, this will be easier for folks. One moment as I'm fishing out my list of who was and who wasn't lowered. You all had spoken. There we go. Kept trying to say talking, but I was like, that's not the word. You had spoken with you talked with the representative from Dragon Guard, a silver dragonborn with the last name Borvain. You had talked with the Necromancer representative from Bonecrest named Titania Longsorrow. You had seen Andario reconnect with Abther, as well as I believe that was all you all had spoken to explicitly, and you had clocked that Chief Matuk of the clan Salt Hollow Orcs was glaring at Cairn, and they were having a staring contest as we concluded last session.
Yep.
During the conclusion of which, thank you, Zankiri, both Andariel and Katira rose from the shadows on either side of Cairn and asked, "What are you staring at him for?" So that's where we pick up, as Cairn is jump scared by being flanked by the two ladies.
You're approaching me. Okay.
So they have popped up to you, Karen, and said, "What are you staring at him for?"
Oh, I didn't think they say anything. We left off on them walking at me to know they.
We'll pick up there then. You all are behind him and about to ask why he's staring.
Yep. So I'm still staring back at him.
Same difference. Yeah. Go ahead.
What are you doing?
Is there a particular reason you're staring at him?
Yes.
Elaborate.
I don't like your tone.
I don't like your face right now. It could jeopardize this.
He just looks at you, then looks
You
back
know
at
what?
Martuk.
Dig your own grave. I don't really care what happens to you. And she will walk away.
Huh.
Karen doesn't even look at her. He just
Whether
leans
or
against the
not
wall.
your grave is dug, you cannot dig one for the governess.
He doesn't even like register you. It's my business. And he's only looking at me because of things involving me, not the governess. Leave it alone.
Then ensure that it remains that way.
You're
We
not
are
my
here,
commanding officer.
nor are you mine.
I have not tried to what appear is vastly approaching browbeating and derogatory tone.
Do recall our purpose here, and try not to do anything to jeopardize it for the governess.
He just grunts.
If this business would risk your life, I will step in to defend you. And she walks away.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You all see that Governess Cromwell is just mingling with other members of the court. Excuse me. What did you want to go and check in with her about in there?
Nothing. Just make sure everything's running okay and do her job.
Gotcha.
I will actually go to the governess, though.
Okay.
And I will inform her that chances are damn it. Runs up the list again as my mind reduces to... Was it Galdor Beer or... Where is he? Oh, so there we go. Dragon Guard. All right. That Dragon Guard will likely vote heavily against the vampires.
She kind of nods.
And
Very much matching.
unfortunately, due
Mhm.
to being able to confirm that and steer that, what was Martuk again? It was
Representative
No,
Salt Hollow.
Salt Hollow. The Salt Hollow will be very suspicious.
Okay. She will just kind of like you see she's very much got on like that like politician face. Yeah. She's
I'm
just
being
kind of
very quiet with this.
well, I appreciate you informing me of this. You are very much seeing a shift in her body language as she's entered into this space and is in full-on work mode, trying to be the most amicable and easy to get along with person for all the other representatives and their different types. So she's taken into...
She is in full NPC mode.
Yeah. She hears what you're saying, but she's also busy trying to code switch to like 17 different people at will.
Yep. After he gives his little report, he's going to go back and resume his post on the wall and just kind of look around. You just in general keep an eye on the room.
Yeah. Is there anyone else anybody wanted to talk to?
Katira would look for anyone military-minded that we haven't already interacted with.
The majority of those...
Oh,
was that Shane?
Morgana is waiting for Marcus to arrive. He said he's going to arrive late. So he's just going to stand guard over the governess until then.
Gotcha.
I think
You-
the only people left on Zunkuri's list is Lord Arrington Firth
Yeah,
from Gold Shore and Marcus 10 from Newford.
interesting. Uh, Marcus 10 is the one that Shane said he was waiting for and is coming in late. And I believe Arrington Firth would be the next day. So, seems as though most of you all, and to answer your original question, Katira, it doesn't seem like there's any militaristically minded people here today. You know, the most militarily assigned individual is
Darn.
the representative from Freywick, who is arriving the next day.
All right.
I could remind you the name, but it's somewhere.
Well, Freywick is not going to like us no matter what, because we're with Moonwatch, so.
Correct. If there's no one else you all would like to converse with at the moment, you were given free reign to go out in the city to secure any other needs you were looking for, or you can just kind of continue to keep watch.
You know what? Karen sees this abomination, the screaming at people, and having his minions go to the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
I like buffets.
Okay.
And I am going to wander over to the buffet and just get nearby. And are there just chairs littered around?
Tables further off from where most of the representatives are, yeah. Kind of like when you see an auditorium being set up, they've got like the rack full of folding chairs. Something similar, just
God.
like unfolding chairs, just regular chairs that are
Karen-
stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, Karen's gonna grab a chair and not too close, but not too far from this very geriatric asshole. Just sit down over there.
You sit down at the table with Abther.
Oh, is it at a table? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sure. I'll just sit at the table, just with a heaping plate. Just like, but he's still keeping an eye on the corners. So just like every once in a while, some I don't know, mashed potatoes.
You sit
What the
down,
fuck they feed me.
and Abther looks up from whatever he was just fiddling with under the table. And he looks up at you.
Hmm?
Hello? Did you not
Oh.
see that these seats were empty for a reason?
Exactly. That's why I sat down.
Yeah.
Takes a bite of a chicken leg. Just kind of grunts.
Just kind of glares at you.
I just give him a half-lidded old man look back.
Give me a...
Is there a role for camaraderie, old man?
That's what I was gonna have. I was trying to think. I was thinking, what check would it be to see who's going to like guess the best stare off? And I was thinking competing intimidation checks. Yeah, well, give me a intimidation check, and I'll do it against his.
Why, yes, I would love to use my 0 score. I have no qualms against this. Let me look at my cards. Fuck.
Well.
Oh.
Yeah, you beat him out. And he just kind of leans back and just kind of slightly nods. Goes, "What's your name?"
Karen.
Hey, Karen. I see you've got your colors similar to Moonwatch. You wouldn't happen to be on the protective detail for the governess?
Yup.
And so you're familiar with the tiefling girl.
Yes. And it just goes back to eating the turkey leg.
How do you get along with her?
Not very.
Why is that?
Differences of opinion and sparking tempers.
What opinions do you have that sparks her upset?
anything and he just like drops the chicken leg for a second, looks over it dead in the eye, just 1,000-yard stare. Everything I do,
Mm.
nothing is peace, only suffering. Although she just seems wary, cautious. I'm not sure. I see this same look in her eye, the way I see very wary children, if that's something that makes sense.
Hmm.
You know the type.
I do.
Had a very rough childhood.
Well, I mean, if you don't get along with her, I don't know exactly what you're hoping to accomplish with me. I'm sure.
I'm just sitting right here because my old ass knees hurt.
I have arthritis, sir.
You see two unseen servants covered in sheets come and sit on the chairs. It's like a four-seater table, and you're across from him. They come down and sit in the other ones, and you see there's a third one just standing behind you.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of other tables if you just need a spot.
No, here's fine. It has a nice view of the whole room.
He just continues to like glare at you.
I grabbed the other chicken leg I had on them. It's a big plate. I bought my own.
Oh, don't forget, there's serving trays that he has lifted up from the buffet and brought over to his table via servant.
Oh, I brought my own. I'm not that gumptious to take another old man's food. That's a mad dog shit right there. No.
He's just continuing to stare you down, and a couple people are like eyeballing you, like, "Oh, what's this then?" Just curious.
Although
what could go down?
maybe it's just my opinion on young people in general. So they just don't get it sometimes. They're not the only ones who had it rough, which is why I've been very patient and non-committal to any argument she tries to have with me.
It's good to hear.
It takes too much energy.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't involve myself in arguments anymore. I just leave.
I can't teleport or do anything like that.
It must suck for you.
It does. I hear there's a spell that can alleviate weight on you, and I'll tell you these fucking cankles right here, man.
He levitates your plate up.
I hold on to that plate. Fucker.
It continues to like. You have to like hold it down because he just will continually try and push it up. Just something like that.
Yep.
It's a shame I can't stop it. It's gonna be like that for a whole hour.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're not an idiot. You know he's lying. It won't even make you roll insight. You know he's lying. That levitation is entirely concentration. And he's choosing every round to try and fuck with you.
Mm-hmm. And he's not giving him the chance. It's just like right then, and just my entire arm is just dedicated to holding his stand. The other one just chicken leg.
How is she doing?
He kind of just looks at him for a second. She's made friends. That I kind of use a chicken leg to point at Morgana, who's just Terminator staring from behind the governess, somehow taller than usual. She's particularly fond of her.
It's good to It's good to hear that she's found a place to be.
I just hope she learns to relax. I don't know. Although the young people are always trying to dash around, too much energy, I say. I miss that.
I can imagine.
Although
you look like you've got a foot in the grave.
2 feet with one pinky toe sticking out the other end. Though it feels good to get out and about these days. I've gotten past the chicken legs. I'm down to the mashed potatoes. Good.
He looks at you, like you see he's scanning, even though you don't see pupils in his like blank changing eyes. You can see just enough movement to see he's scanning you. Just trying to figure out what you're about. Well, as I said, it's good to hear that she's found a place where she can belong and make something of herself.
Kill the chicken.
Mm-hmm. And then he's just going to sit in silence and stare at you,
Okay.
and just create awkward silence in hopes it eventually makes you leave.
Oh no. I mean, Karen's fine. He's going to very calmly, deliberately slowly finish the rest of his plate, and then he'll get up after about 10 minutes of just sitting there letting the food settle. Then he'll get up and go back to his spot to sit down,
Settle.
making at least 3 variants of dad noises.
One as you initiate it, one while getting up, and one after you've settled it upright.
Yep. Yep, and as soon as I'm standing, actually one extra one as I pop my back into standing formation. Well, it was good speaking with you. I think I've got a lot of insight at this point. You have a good one, though. And then I'm going to casually walk away.
He watches you as you leave. And you see one of the unseen servants dissipates and just sheet on the floor as he starts to recast it.
By the way, at that point, I do let go of the plate.
He's been focusing, just like running it over in his mind, like lift, that he doesn't even. He forgets for a second to stop making it rise, and so as you walk away, it just kind of keeps floating up and up until he's like, oh, right. And lowers it back down.
As I'm walking over, I just mutter to myself, I assume we should get some from. Fuck.
So, as you all are... Oh, I forgot to play the music I queued up.
Rip.
There we go. It should be coming through. It's kind of quiet. There we go. As you all are just kind of ambling around, mingling here and there, the hours get later and later until eventually Marcus 10, I believe was his name. Right? Yes, it was Marcus. A lot of names. Forgive me if I swap some letters around at some point. You do see that arriving with some sort of pneumatic cane device. Marcus 10 seems to enter in through the ballroom area, do a quick scan, and begin descending the stairs. This is, of course, the person both Sankiri and Morgana were waiting to see. It is just a little past sunset at the time he walks in.
Morgana.
Morgana will turn and look.
Do you trust me?
We do trust you to an extent, Sankiri.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that answer. I guess the other half of my argument. Anyway, let's say you and I go talk to this Lord Marcus 10. Perhaps we could show him some of your capabilities and perhaps trigger an enhancement. If you let me poke around inside, that will impress his sense of inventiveness and science.
We accept your proposal, and we did not mean any disrespect. We are just speaking off of our ally categorization.
Oh no, I was expecting an absolute no.
She'll tilt her head slightly.
Oh, come on then.
She will
Seeing them
look
step
over
away,
to see
Zero would
that rat.
take up position by the governess.
Gotcha. And I'm
As long
assuming
as that rat is still there, Morgana will follow Zankiri.
I'm assuming you all aren't like right over her shoulder. I'm assuming you're just kind of keeping a wide berth on her, like
Yeah.
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 Basically, just close enough so that anyone watching her sees that, like, she is not being left unguarded,
Gotcha.
but not in her way.
Okay, cool. So, like, within one movement, you could get it up into melee, but you're not crowding her.
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Keeping the nice 20 to 30 foot range.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's easy enough. I mean, most every other guard is kind of doing the same thing, or they're just sitting on a wall, so...
I imagine there are two delegates that are standing like 15 feet away from each other, and right between them, the guards for one are standing back to back with the guards for the other. They're both watching the other people because their little areas overlap.
You know, probably at some point. But as you all approach Marcus 10's table, he's grabbed an empty one, and as he sits down, you see he takes out a couple small mechanical devices and sets them down. They start to, like, twist and unhinge and begin opening themselves up. They seem to be cubes at first, but are shifting into some other shapes. As he starts reading the room. That's the terms I'm looking for. So he's just kind of taking it in. And he sees you two approaching and tries to give you his full attention. You did not see any guards walk in with him. He seemed to approach all on his own.
Lord Marcus 10 of Noonforce.
That would have been
Do I
me.
surmise? I didn't hear that. What?
He said that would be me.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Zonkiri.
Pleasure.
I'm here with the Lady of Moonwatch, and she told me of your dedication to science and invention. And I thought perhaps that maybe you would like to observe a creation. And he'll sort of step aside and, like, sweeping arm gesture to Morgana.
Morgana will give him the little elegant bow.
He will look you both up and down and just, Alright. Consider my interest piqued.
We are Morgana.
Pleasure. Are you an automaton, a golem, a warforged, some other form of sentience bound to a humanoid vessel?
We are a warforged, or in cases described as an android.
So, are you aware of what percentage you might be organic and inorganic?
Morgana will reach back into her databanks because I didn't memorize that.
Real quick, androids are fully mechanical. You're thinking cyborg.
I guess you're right.
Which is why he's
I thought you
asking.
were going to say android versus gynoid.
Which is why he's asking, because he's like, yeah, there's a real easy distinction. How organic are you?
Our makeup is 82% inorganic, 10% organic.
And of the remaining 8?
Morgana will ransack through her memory. We were not given that information.
You'll have to forgive that. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that creations that are capable of fully recreating themselves are best left to those who have proven their mental stability over a period of time. Wouldn't want any self-replicating machines going haywire.
Reasonable. So you're the one who's created this creature.
I've been working on artificial sentience for quite some time, and Morgana here is perhaps the closest fully mechanical, and he kind of like air quotes fully mechanical creation yet.
Did you?
Would you like a peek inside?
If it's, I mean, depends on how accurate the anatomy you made. I wouldn't want anything distasteful out in the ballroom, but
Not at all.
Alright.
She's built more for combat. It would be very unfortunate were her vitals located in the correct positions.
Intelligent. Alright.
Zon-
Humor me. Or, I'll humor you. Show me what you've got.
Zonkuri will reach over and begin fiddling with Morgana. I don't know how to say this and not sound weird.
No, go ahead, do it.
Get your hand
In the
up
middle of the
guts,
ballroom,
boy.
Zonkiri takes his hand and begins fiddling Morgana.
He begins fiddling her chest to take off the chest plate and show the inner workings.
Take off the bra,
Yeah.
just unclasp the bra.
Morgana will undo her mechanisms that keep it on there when she notices he's trying to mess with it.
And
That
you
really
op-
do be how it is when a man tries to take off your bra sometimes.
And so, do you open up your like rib cage and like upper stomach area to the inner workings?
Yep.
Boom. And sitting there, as you all have seen many times before, is an integrated, like a lime green crystal, I believe. It was lime green. In the middle, as well as you could see the mechanisms at which it's conducting the power away, and things like the facsimile of a heart, and basically just shows all the inner workings. Also trying to avoid saying things that sound weird.
Too
I,
late.
I almost said, yeah, you all get to see all the goods. I was like, nope.
Hey, you two. not
Hey,
even gonna bother.
YouTube.
We fucked up, YouTube. Don't
Hope
cancel.
you like our demonetization.
Yo.
Oh, hold on. As this is happening, and like he goes to take a look, Zonkuri is going to actually point out, oh, would you look at that? I do believe her emotional protocols have just developed shame and decency. And just kind of like nod to Morgana's face.
Morgana's eyes are looking up at the ceiling.
Interesting.
Only Indario has done this once before.
What strength did you find incorporating an emotional circuit on a combat android?
Her emotions help with a little treat that has been dubbed Violence Protocol. Whereas a normal, you would say, raging fighter would experience massive pumps of adrenaline, stimulated by bouts of anger, rage, battle flow. Her incorporation of her own emotions into this strength allows her to recreate such things. Gives her quite the impressive endurance.
He looks at her and looks at you and goes, would you mind if I got a closer look at the inside, at the innards?
Is he saying that looking at Morgana or Zonkiri?
Zonkiri, because you were looking at the ceiling, and Zonkiri is posing as your creator.
Dick.
Okay, I was just asking. I wasn't judging.
Can Andariel show up at this moment?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
I-
everybody's kind of seen that this is happening, but I'll give her a little bit longer before you arrive.
I wouldn't mind, although perhaps for the sake of our current climate, and he kind of like just glances about the room, perhaps it would be, what do they say, politically correct to ask her permission.
Oh, I didn't
Wouldn't want to
realize
just-
you had given it autonomy. My apologies.
Wouldn't want to reach in and grab it.
What was the name again?
Firmly grasp it.
Yeah,
I
Morgana.
hate this guy.
Morgana, of course. Apologies. I hadn't realized.
him or Zonkiri?
Marcus 10, I'm sure. Because he keeps describing her as, oh, I didn't realize it wasn't an object.
Marcus 10. Oh, I didn't realize he
Ignorant.
came in autonomy. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
He looks at Morgana. Would you be okay with me taking a closer look to your mechanisms?
We have no opposition to this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And he takes out a small, yet another cube mechanism that he twists and starts unlocking, and he sets it in there. You see, it spits out like 4 little legs and starts walking around, and then a little lens pops out on the front, just flips over, starts looking over parts. Morgana, it's unpleasant. It's like feeling a small spider crawl around inside of your chest.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's already unpleasant when someone's fiddling around there too long with their hands.
Yeah, and now you have a small creature just walking around. And you see the monocle he has seems to very faintly has like a 50% opacity filter to whatever this little thing is looking at through its lens.
He's got a heads-up display.
Pretty much. Interesting. I think he spends about a minute or so just looking around at different mechanism parts from different angles. He goes, I'm curious. It crawls up and back to like what would be the like dorsal side of the sternum, like about that area. Not a place you all have really seen.
Speak for yourself.
Well, fair. I meant on Morgana. He says, are you part of some sort of guild or business? Seems to be some sort of logo on this back part. And he like takes off the monocle and hands it over to you to look at what he's talking about.
Trademark.
Oh, that. I'm afraid that most of her parts were sourced from rather old company. Very, very hard to find adequate materials in my line of work, being constantly on the go.
Well, you've salvaged them from a good source. From what I understand, the Aegis product was a fairly well-to-do arms dealer, but well, no need to revel on the past. We don't see much of them anymore. But still quality parts from where you can find them. Morgana, you very much do hear him name drop Aegis.
Yeah, that's why her eyes shot open and she clenched her fists slightly. But when he says that last bit, she calms down her hands.
Well-
Perhaps we ought to close her up before she gets a oil leak in her nose from all the embarrassment.
I was about to suggest about the same thing. Morgana, you can close your inner mechanisms at any point.
Oh, thank you for the permission, sir.
It'll instantly snap back, and it's loud, like loud.
It slams in. You hear the small sound of mechanisms clicking as it heals up and becomes watertight again. Well, it's quite an impressive design you've made. Please, both of you, have a seat. I'd love to further discuss where you've come from and what led you to the creation of a outstanding. You considered yourself a warforged, correct, Morgana?
That is correct.
Then a warforged.
Does Andariel get here?
About now, as you were closing your chest, Andariel could have made it. That'd be you, Norvin.
What are you two doing?
Just speaking with the Lord of Newmford here, discussing Morgana's creation as well as different specifics of the manufacture. I suppose we were also going to discuss what it was that Lady Moonwatch wanted us to discuss with him. I'll try to keep that short. Lord 10, such things can be rather distasteful. Politics and whatnot.
And that's why you had your That's why you were open, Morgana.
That is correct, Andario.
Would you like to take a rest? I know it's painful for that to be done. And she shoots a look at Zankiri.
We would not describe it as painful, considering our primary function. It is
You don't, I do.
unpleasant.
Interesting that you gave her deeper sensation. I suppose it could help identify internal damage, but interesting that
Looks
it
at
triggers.
Zankiri again and just thinks to herself, "You?"
It's an interesting choice to have it respond when she opens the cavity, even for maintenance.
You see, I've long worked on creating life from nothingness, and have been doing my best to perfect it for centuries now. Various types here and there, some touches of the purely mechanical, some touches of manipulating existing life, other times manipulating the forces of death. It would be ill shame to restrict myself to a certain avenue of creation. Better to mix it all and try to create what can be created.
Well, it is often people create things in their own image, and it's as they say. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But it's very interesting. It was a masterful work, and seems to be a very sapient creation. Very impressive.
We wish not to interrupt you,
Oh.
but you were correct in assuming that deeper sensations allows us to repair much easier.
Good to know. Are you?
It's always better when weapons can repair themselves.
Oh, fair. Where did you get the? And I can go on with his questions as long as you'd like, or we can, like.
It's at some point whenever Zankiri legitimately doesn't have an answer for something or can't think of a way to respond to it that's not a lie, he's just going to claim either proprietary information or trade secrets.
Yeah.
And then is going to move on to the Moon Watch stuff.
Okay.
That is what he is going. So we can just fast forward to
Just
that.
a brief
Gotcha.
intermission.
We'll do that.
I've been paying very specific attention, and he's still technically, by the thinnest margins, hasn't lied yet.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
thinnest
Yes.
fucking margins.
I love it so
Yeah.
I'm
much.
leaning in, taking notes. I'm like, what the
Oh
flying
my
hell?
God. I
He
love
never
it so much.
explicitly said I hate you. Why are you good at things?
I've been enjoying this so fucking much.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's great posing specific questions to see him then just deflect it. It's artful.
Perfect defense. I was waiting for Andaro to sink him, and he just goes, I didn't say that.
Why does she have this other company's logo on her? Yeah, most of her parts are from them.
That was a good one.
Not a lie, but who's the fuck to know?
It's
And
truly artful.
he does have a hard time getting the correct pieces of equipment.
What?
He just never said it had anything to do with her. He was talking about dead bodies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking toy
Oh.
man over here.
Lovely.
But
I
I'm afraid that for now will have to remain trade secrets.
Of course.
Wouldn't want to spill all of my secrets.
Of course. I'm sure I'll see something similar soon.
Look forward to what comes from us. But, as I said, the governess of Moonwatch did wish for me to speak to you. We have a couple of items coming up, and your assistance in the voting process would free up quite a bit of time on her hands and by extension, mine. And we were hoping we could count on your assistance with the bills she was presenting.
I'll keep an open mind. Now, did she drag you along just so that you could come and brown nose me with these inventions?
Quite the contrary. Our group was hired originally as pure security. She had taken note of our capabilities in the areas around Moonwatch, and considering the distance traveled, thought we would be good representation as her guide. So right here that we want to use.
That came through really greebly for me, but
Yeah.
It did that to me too.
was the gist of it that what you said you hired a security and she thought you would be good representatives for on Moonwatch's behalf?
We were hired, to his knowledge, as pure security. It wasn't until after we got here that we were told that we could talk to the representatives here if we wanted to, and if we did, to try to mention her bill. We weren't specifically sent to anybody.
Gotcha.
Which is true, we weren't.
Right. Alright, he just kind of looks at you and goes, alright. I'm just making sure. I feel like you should have some sort of role. You've done fairly well enough, and he's not too suspicious about that. We'll just roll with it. He's kind of... You see he's accepting what you're saying at face value, but there's also just... He wants to confirm somehow that you're not just a political angle that's being worked against him. But, so far he seems really open to you all. Was there anything else you wanted to ask him or discuss?
Sorry, my Discord cut out.
Oh, was there anything else you wanted to discuss with him?
I didn't hear anything after you started talking.
He takes what you're saying at face value. He's wanting to confirm that you're not just a political pawn that's been sent in front of him, because he's not a fan of that. But he's accepting what you're saying for now, and he's interested. Until you're proven otherwise, he's just making sure things line up. Wants to make sure it's not just fluff. But other than that, he is kind of concluding the conversation and saying that we'll keep an open mind and be sure to thoroughly read over the governess's propositions.
Appreciate it. And I would like it at some point, if you would deem it acceptable, to look over those creations of yours. They remind me quite a bit of Modrons.
They're something similar. I have... It's sort of simple. If you come by and visit Newfort, it'll make much more sense. But the quick explanation, we have some materials we make there that function very well as small power sources, and are very good at making these interlocking mechanisms.
See? Well, your invitation to Newfort is graciously appreciated.
Of course.
But I'm afraid I must attend to my duties, if you would bid me adieu.
Of course. And if you decide you wanted to come seek work in my town, feel free to come by my office and let me know that it was Zonkiri, of course, right? Zonkiri?
Yes, Zonkiri.
Feel free, he makes a slight note, pop in and let them know that you're looking for work with me. I'd be delighted to have a craftsman such as yourself be able to do some work for me.
Appreciate it. Anything you wish to part with, Morgana?
We have nothing to say. It was a pleasure.
Likewise.
And Zankiri stands up and just kind of, dusts himself off a bit and starts walking away with Morgana and Andario. Yeah, I think it's still there.
Fixes her her dress.
Well, I think she has to
remove
fit
it.
her breasts too.
No, it's automatic. But she fixes her dress.
Out of hydraulics.
Does the little short bow thing, and then
The
follows behind. Yes, a curtsy.
Gotcha.
Forgot the name.
You're good. So as you all leave him, that was the last guest to come in for the night. All the others are expected the next day.
As we're walking away, though, once we get out of earshot of Lord 10, Zankiri just in a quieter voice.
Andario, care to explain what that was?
Care to explain why you had her popped open in front of someone? And why you allowed him to talk to her about like that?
That lord has a particular interest in inventions and science.
It doesn't mean you get to treat her like an object.
Morgana thought it would be a good idea if I posed as her inventor.
Now that's a lie.
Oh, I am sure she had that wonderful idea all herself.
It's actually
Morgana.
It's actually not a lie. I was messaged about this.
Oh.
Not the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Morgana was going to put her hand forward a little closer, and we were the ones to propose such a thing.
Why?
We know of Zankiri's fondness for creation, and the governess had asked us to win over other representatives. We used Zankiri's creativeness and our function to that advantage.
You should not allow anyone to treat you such ways. You are not an
Should be
it. You are not
her
a
decision.
thing. I am not talking to you. You are a person. You deserve to be treated as a person.
Her head will tilt slightly.
Just please remember that. You are not a thing. You are a person.
We will try to hold that to such memory.
And I encourage you not to trust him. And she'll just turn and walk back to the governess.
Okay.
Zankiri looks at Morgana.
You see, that was the response I was expecting.
She'll look towards Zankiri. We do not understand. Zankiri is in our ally categorization.
Well, perhaps look at it this way. I'm not the one telling you what to do or how to act.
Okay, look,
Zankiri.
sir, you dropped your double horns. Here you go. Here's your full red onesie and your crunk chin. Let's start doing push-ups.
Care for an apple from this tree? It'll raise your intelligence.
Hang on. Can I just, while Shane's recovering from that, why is it? I just have to say, why is it he can go from like, I can see him like a sniveling like little like, yes, my lord, and then other times he's just like, apple.
Because I'm the Prince of Lies, bitch.
Without telling a lie.
I don't know. Did I send it to you guys? The greatest secret of the Prince of Lies is that he's never told a lie. He doesn't have to.
You've talked
Yep.
about that.
My God.
He just has to give you enough for the truth for you to hang yourself.
Well,
I'm not the one telling you to do anything.
does
It's
calling
your
himself the Prince of
choice.
Lies, knowing he doesn't lie, count as a lie?
Oh,
But-
he doesn't call him that. I call me that.
Oh,
Bruh.
I was getting sucked into the Prince of Lies paradox.
Oh my god.
The man is a walking paradox. Let's proceed.
Oh my god, I need to change my shirt. I'm sweating after that. Holy fuck.
I, I was expecting a different outcome when the third when
Ugh.
Dario entered the scene. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
she's gonna advocate for robot rights in front of him.
Upon Sakiri saying that, Morgana will just kind of glance towards the ground and like squint a little, and then just look back up at him.
A seed of doubt.
That's all it takes. Surely, if you'll just become like him and he'd be jealous. Go ahead, take a bite.
It's about wearing clothes.
He wants it all for himself. Don't worry, Eve.
The world was peaceful until there was a third man, and they coveted the first.
We will resume our vigil over the governess.
Right?
And Morgana will nod to him and walk back to the governess.
She
God,
is
guys.
wrapping up her conversations for the evening, and as she leaves the table from, I imagine, Titania Longsorrow, the necromancer representative, is one of the last ones to leave because sleepless. The governess gets up and informs you all that while in this area, there are either Fort Royal guards who will be guarding the rooms they're staying in, and that once she gets to her room and the guards are posted out front, you all are off duty and welcome to go about your business, especially because there's not a room provided for you here. She will give you all a writ to so that you can get in and out of this inner sanctum area on the next day, saying, yeah, we're her guards. But other than that, you all are technically off duty now that she has gone to retire to bed.
All right.
Today was certainly an eventful day. Anyone make any friends?
No. And maybe. What about you?
Oh, I believe I made quite the progress with.
Yeah, I saw you
Lord.
fiddling around in Morgana's chest. There, submarine on there, or
Oh, there's quite a bit going on in there.
not what I meant, but all right. I'll leave it there. Hang it in all. Hang it in all.
But yes, I do believe that between the two of us, we made quite the impression on Lord Ten, as well as Sovereign Longsorrow, Bonecrest.
Well, on my end, I don't think Martuk's gonna be any friendly. Although, assuming I got the judge's character correct, Osrin, that big paladin fellow, is likely to vote with whatever in regards to the vampires goes. I can get that much. Also, your dad's an asshole. I look at him, Dario.
My dad?
Whatever the your adoptive father, however you view him.
He is not my adopted father. He is my master.
Oh,
Kinky.
I got
My teacher.
I got a different impression talking to him, but okay. Seemed very weird about you.
Okay. Why did you talk to him? He doesn't like people.
Neither do I, but here I am. That's a genetic trait in old people. Yeah, you'll understand when you're older. stares past the screen into the eyes of the bearded individual.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone. He'll much prefer that.
Well, I wasn't really aiming for his preferences, but that's right.
Yeah, it seemed like you were just simply trying to piss him off for some unknown reason.
Not unknown reason, but my reason. I was curious about something.
Yet, even though we're trying to get people on our side, you decide to go over there and piss him off.
Do you really think there was any chance he was going to vote in any regards? The only thing here that would polarize him is you, and you're not doing that. We're walking towards ice, presuming in.
Yeah, you all are like passing out through the security gates.
Though if you really want to debate it, which I know you don't, do it some other time. I am really tired. It's like 5 p.m. It's past my bedtime.
Okay.
I hate you. Not just dislike, Karen. Hate. I hope you die. And she's gonna turn and walk to her inn.
I didn't know you could throw a tantrum that quickly. Oh hell, I already knew that.
I'm curious. Is there anything she
I think that was a
doesn't
new
hate?
record of getting hate.
It's her
She doesn't hate
business.
Morgana.
Well, of course, Morgana is very
Morgana's
passive.
just- Morgana's just like looking back and forth at everyone as you're like, oh, she doesn't hate Morgana. Just looking around like, huh?
Morgana, if you wouldn't mind, could you follow her? She seems to be walking in a random ass direction.
It is an
In a
important.
town.
It is a good time for me to remind you all that during this congressional ball, where all the people come to eat the court, is kind of akin to like St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras. Like,
Oh.
is a bit of a constant rager going on throughout the city.
Morgana will
It's
use
starting
her
probably
voice.
20 feet out from where the guards block people from entering. There's still like the sound of loud music being played in the streets. There are like many street food carts out.
So
Dancing, public intoxication, public indecency. Many misdemeanors are happening.
So
Yeah.
American St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
so pretty much, yeah. What I'm gonna go on Perose is I believe we need a buddy system, and the only one who Endaro can stomach is you, Morgana. So could you go with her? Make sure
Morgana-
she didn't get into a fight.
There are only
Morgana
two people in the
nods.
group that Andariel can't
That's
stand.
for
Everyone
Kira.
else, she's perfectly fine with.
Well, Karen thinks you just hate everything because you're a bratty child. So he's going with the best chance.
Morgana nods.
Well, actually,
and
after this, he knows you're a bratty child because he talked to you where you get it from.
Skitters off to go to Andariel.
All right, so that leaves. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I think we do need some sort of buddy system because of aforementioned things happening. So, who goes with who?
I have no objections to anyone coming along with me.
Well, we've got 2 and 3, so shit. I guess I pick up Dat Rat like I think I'll take Dat Rat with me.
as you all.
The hell?
It said loud because the other one was quiet.
Yeah,
No!
which is kind of similar to how jarring it is as you're walking out. Just
Where the fuck is?
just going off. Feel free
There we go.
to go ahead and adjust your volumes.
I had that bitch set on 70%.
Ooh.
I could not hear what you just said.
I've got it all the way down to 50.
I have
So-
20%.
I turned mine to 28% because of this.
Fair.
Real quick, which of the orcs
were pissed off and which one of them wasn't?
One, the orc from Galdebrir was not there yet, but the one from Salt Hollow was the one who was glaring at Karen and is wary of
He
the
was
group.
Matuk or something? Yeah.
Yeah, Matu.
Yeah.
He is the only one who has an increased DC after your all's interaction.
Which is an unfortunate circumstances. There's a reason. Yeah, he was staring at Kara. That was unavoidable. And going in and explaining anything to him
you're a fucking
was
orc.
dangerous. That's racist.
So hold
You're
on.
an orc that's not one of his. I imagine he's like,
Do we
All right, bigot.
What were you saying, Zonkiri?
Go ahead.
do we consider Black Mirror? What's his name? Lord Ambercroft?
Blackmere should be Abther, the
Abther,
changeling.
The teacher.
Yeah.
Do we consider him
An
like
asshole?
on our side for this or not?
I mean, if Andario maybe finds a way to get him to do it,
I would put him
Other
under
than that-
chaotic. No.
assume he's gonna vote sporadic for literally everything.
He might have a set of dice on himself just to figure out how he's going to vote.
All right.
He did actively say to Endariel that he plans on voting absolute no on everything that comes in front of him, and was only starting to be persuaded by her asking him to just look over them at least, to actually consider maybe voting yes.
Smack.
In that case, I think this is our current standing.
Oh, good. I was about to type out the list, but it seems like you've got one.
Influenced are people who we've either got on our side or who have greatly influenced to being on our side through one way or another. I put Dragon Guard on there.
I think it was Black Bear.
You copy paste this into Roll20 so this list gets to live on.
It is what
And
it is.
Dariel was working with him until, a certain stupid orc went over there and decided to antagonize him.
Oh, perfect. Blackmere got put into its own chat box.
Yes.
As it should be.
Uninfluenced are the ones we haven't spoken to, but don't have any particular reason from what we have listed to not listen to us. Lost causes are those who we'd be wasting breath talking to, and then Blackmere is Blackmere.
Blackmere, lost. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think does that seem about right, Connor?
I would like a reminder on why. I see why you're saying South Wharf is a lost cause. It's because they prefer the airport over Moonwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it is literally in their best interest for Moonwatch's stuff to be shot down.
Yeah.
And also, I will put forward the two things. I only went and talked into the tree because the apples is an asshole. And two, in regarding to Martuk, since he already doesn't like me, maybe I can cozy up to Galdor Bear. Because they're like
they are notoriously antagonistic. Like they do not get along.
Absolute worst case, I can try to talk shop with Galdor Bear.
Yeah, I can talk shop with Goldshore because he likes craftsmen. Probably Silver, you might want to come too.
I would have thought Silver would have had a chance with Marcus.
Yeah.
Which one was Marcus?
The
Artificer.
The Science and Tech City.
Mogana and Katira could go talk to the Freywick guy to try to learn about him. Katira using her military knowledge and Mogana being strong. That's about it. What else she can offer at this point?
But should we be just grabbing whoever we can, or should we be going for quality? Because
it was more of for Freywick. She asked us specifically to try to fuck over Freywick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Generally, Freywick is if they don't have anything, they'll likely just try and take over Moonwatch because they actively hate each other. It's like if Andariel and Cairn own a city-state. It just even if they had nothing good to do, they'd try and fuck over the other just cause.
Maybe if there's a chance to talk about it after the bills are proposed, maybe we can get Kyfburn, only because vampires would fuck with his shit.
I will say, you do know that the method which this is going. After everyone arrives, there is a ceremony to celebrate the past year of prosperity for the continent. where basically every city-state has brought along somebody to like show, oh, this is what's so great about us. Here's, a famous chef who lives in Steelwood performing a feat of culinary art, etc. And that goes on for a long while.
It's a Congress talent show. Holy crap!
They're trying to show off to each other. And during that time is when people will have conversations with other members and try and prepare them for the next meeting, which is closed doors.
Yeah, you little criminal.
There's like
say me out to the mic.
3 or 4 high-ranking mages who go in and cast things like forbiddance and etc. to ward in this. Yeah,
Private Sanctum.
That's the one.
Yeah,
has Private Sanctum.
I think it's Cleric.
Private Sanctum was the one I was thinking of.
I would like to pose a question to the group.
Mm-hmm.
And remind me if something was said to first explicitly not to do this. I don't remember if we did. Should we mention the dragon that feeds on literal warfare at all? Dead to anyone?
You were given no comments about Zyrteth, but it's up to you on whether or not you want to bring him up.
Yeah, I don't know if Zyrteth said like, "Don't talk about me, or I'll come for your asses."
Oh no, he was like.
I feel like if we do talk about Zyrteth, he is gonna come for our asses.
Unless he wants that kind of shit.
He lives on animosity and war.
So we would just be running animosity.
Hold on. If I were him, I would want us talking about him, and specifically, I would want... He mentioned to us his prophecy, basically, his inclination that war is coming to this continent. If the group of adventurers who survived a battle with a dragon and have a good relationship with Moonwatch start talking about the fact that this dragon of war is smelling the beginnings of one, it is going to get people incredibly nervous, on guard, and they are going to start seeing shadows.
They should be seeing shadows because there's fangs in there too. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if I were him, I would want us spreading nervousness.
I just wanted to pose that. Should we at least pose it to the governess as soon as we're like guaranteed sure she's like a good person? I'm sort of going to be heavily in her camp, and if we should end up dealing with her more, we should mention the big fuck off Sapphire Dragon.
You already are. She already knows about it. If you recall.
What? Okay.
That's why you all got hired. Is that you all told Winona about it, and Winona immediately turned and told the governess and said, "Hey, I know you were looking for some mercenaries. Here's these fuckers who survived an encounter with the dragon." And she's like, "Oh, neat."
Okay.
She said,
she does know it. Okay.
The dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
So she's all in the know, but she's pretty much the only city leader who knows.
Yeah.
Unless she's been name dropping it to people and you weren't aware.
I wouldn't know. She probably has a message.
Probably.
Quick question. Knife Burn. Likes being left alone and sponsoring his creations. What are his creations?
He is he mass produces like magic items and stuff. Is basically one guy in a very large wizard's tower who has a series of golems and things, just making an assembly line of like basically making +1 magic items constantly to like funnel into other people's economies and bazaars and such. He's also the only projects he actually touches and doesn't just have golems mass produce are like specialty things that like rich people commission. That's the word.
Okay.
He just kind of likes to be left to his own business and let him do his work. And Dario would know that he and Abthor do not get along.
Even better. Which is why I was posing. The vampires trying to get in there would fuck with his nonsense in some way because they tried to appropriate his stuff, I would assume.
He's the kind of guy who doesn't respond well to when somebody says, "Hey, here's a work order. You need to give us this much for the army." He'd be like, "Oh, do I now?"
Yeah, and the vampires would definitely be all about that. So, it might behoove us to look at that guy, just because it seems the easiest, just for convenience sake. He seems like an actually easy vote if we can do it the correct way, which is why I propose picking up Zenkiri and throwing him at them so that I don't have to roll. I'm turning into a warhead for my own convenience.
Gotcha.
Your compliance was not a factor.
As you all are doing this, I'm assuming you all are going to find a tavern.
Yes.
Would I be right in assuming you're all going to the same tavern?
Maybe not. I think it's a good idea. Also, we're in fucking hell. And Aerospace is going for the most expensive one. If there's one that's kinder, more gentle on my dear green ass wallet.
We'll find the most expensive inn that has an opening in a stay the night. Last minute, you won't have the best room, but you could probably find one. Especially since you're just looking for one room, not enough to fit everybody. I'd say if they'd run you probably at least 15 gold for a night. Nah, probably at least 10 to 15. Because, you know, Vegas hotels be like. It's got a bunch of, it'll have a bunch of, like, one-night amenities, like free minibar, and, like, the kind of mystical bathtub you'd had previously in another town.
Mystical bathtub.
Pay to make sure Karen gets it.
I mean, she'll say,
You need to spell it right.
The bartender, Karen is spelled right there.
Yeah, it
no,
is.
Insure.
Oh, I see. I was like, that is how you spell your name. The bartender will be like, all right, give me his description and another 15 gold, and I'll make sure he can't rent. Done. And there's now a 24-hour blacklist on Care.
Right.
Wow.
So 30 overall.
Just for shits
For
and
one
giggles.
night.
I assume it's the one we end up at, and then I find out I can't go in there.
Oh no, I'm assuming you were all going to the one you all have gone to before, which was about a gold or two a night.
No. I like the finer things.
This one is like
No. God damn it.
marble floors and pillars, and it's very much looks like it's like a high elf embassy at first, and they're like, oh wait, no, this is just an inn. And they do not have enough room for everybody. And Daryl got a room because
I outright go to the.
she just needed one.
Odds I go to the one we've been before,
Okay.
or even say I go looking for something a little nicer because we're gonna get paid a lot.
Yeah, it was 2 gold at the last one we went to. It was a small little hang on, I'm about to sneeze.
Bless ye.
Appreciate.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you said bless you or anything, but I took my headset off because I don't trust you.
Evens.
Yes. So the last one you had gone to was a 2 gold a night, just like an okay inn. It was all moon themed. It wasn't bad. It was a bit pricey, but nice enough.
Wasn't Evens the? Man, I just forgot. Fuck me. What was Evens the one we went to before, or
Evens?
or was it Oz? I saw it. I was rolling to see if Karen, because he's about to get paid a lot, to his knowledge.
Uh-huh.
So, maybe I want some more of that fancy food.
Could be.
I pretty sure Evans was going for the better restaurant.
Okay.
So I walk into this embassy like, oh, this looks nice.
This happens, maybe 20 minutes after Endero paid to have you barred. And then she goes,
Want to give you the gold you can pay for, but get your popcorn. I'm like, ooh, this looks nice. I walk up to the bellman or keeper.
Yeah. She looks to you and goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, never mind that. She will just open with a, hello, what can I get for you? Because it is like a bar area, like behind her.
I'd like to purchase a room for the evening.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're actually booked out for the night.
Oh. Okay.
I can get you any food if you'd like.
Roll the special.
What's your specials, Missy?
Well, I love that you said that, Shane, because I do have one, a specials table. Once again, you come across these, like, basically the Golden Corral rolls.
Oh, you fucked up. Mine. Give me all of them. Fuck them. All of them. Mine.
Oh, it's honey, man.
I will say, she's going to mark the price up to make them 2 for a silver piece. Because
I don't care. I
Yeah.
want 10.
then, okay, so 2 for a silver piece. Same effects. She's just
5 silver? Yes, 5 silver.
and she slides over the
5
10
me.
rolls.
Actually, just because I don't want to do math, I'm dropping that down to 8. There we go. There goes 4 silver.
Sure. And she gets you the rolls. It's very good, and she even like puts it in a like a to-go box, quote unquote.
Yes.
Just like stacks them up and like it's basically just like those little cardboard trays that they have
Yes.
for like nachos or stuff. It's basically like a larger version of those. And she's like stacked them high on there and slides it over to you. All right, here you go.
All right. I'm going to take my doggy bag and I'm going to go.
Okay.
I mean,
Best of luck to you.
Morgana's gonna buy a serving of that too.
I see Morgana walk by. Oh, hey, Morgana. You get here.
Morgana, do you wait until... Karen, how do you wait for Morgana at the bar, or...?
Did she go to the bar?
I assume I got there before him.
Yeah, you got there before
Oh, never
me.
mind.
I don't know
She
if
sells it to you
stayed there.
for a copper. From before. But she just was wringing as much money as she could out of Karen. But
Such a nice young lady. I love young people.
I love the young people.
She's gonna teach this old man.
I've got a question now. Does anybody want to go into the party scene that's raving through the streets?
Absolutely not.
Morgana's trying to catch Andario.
Okay.
And that's why she bought the thingies.
I think that'd be easy enough to find her. I don't think Daryl would
I
try
mean,
to
if
hide from
someone
her.
is, I'll join them.
And since I didn't give her my name, I assume Daryl gave them a description of an orc.
There's basically a wanted poster behind the bar that the barkeep was looking at as you entered. It's like, huh.
Right then.
Yeah, they just did a sketch of you off her description. I was like, all right, cool. That one's banned.
Does my passive see that?
Nah, she did it. She charged 15 gold for this. She was doing it well.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so.
Guess I'll go find a cheaper inn. It's not racist.
You can find one easily enough for like.
Yeah. Preferably the one where the rest of the party is at in case I get ganked. Again.
Yeah.
Is Andario in her room already?
I will.
Playing Linkin Park.
Normally will not try to hide from anyone, so Morgana should be able to follow. She would also allow her up to the room. There's your answer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. With the honey nut rolls in tow, Morgana would knock on the door.
She'll go over and open it. Hi.
Karen had recommended that we travel in pairs to protect us.
Alright, come on in.
She'll
I've only got
in.
one bed in this room, though.
That is fine. We have no need for such thing. And then she'll hold up the honey nut rolls.
No. And Connor, I want to specify. I eat all of those rolls. There's nothing left when I get to the other end.
Oh, you are going to old man nap when you hit your bed.
Oh yeah.
Sugar crash.
I eat all of them.
Just
people are gonna think Zyrteth came to the fucking congressional ball, and how you're gonna be roaring in that fucking bed.
Well played. You're getting inspiration for that awful pun at the end of the session.
Blessed.
Let's go, baby. Well, she'll hold up the roll and just kind of just deadpan stare at Endario.
Would you like to share those with me?
Share them. We do not need conventional food.
Yeah, that's right, you don't. Sorry. She'll take them from you.
So kind of just look at Endario.
What is it?
Your tone.
I'm sorry, I'm a little grumpy at the moment.
We do not blame you. And she'll
He,
kind of just
he drives me insane.
Karen.
Yes. He actually annoys me more than Sangiri. That's astonishing. Zankiri actually has the intelligence to just leave me alone most of the time. Only talk to me when it's necessary. Karen seems to be hell-bent on just annoying me.
We have not noticed any pattern in Karen's actions to indicate his goal of annoying you.
Maybe. I'm prickly. I can be.
Why would you label yourself as prickly? You are quite smooth aside from your horns.
My personality is prickly. It means I get annoyed easily, that I do not get along with others easily.
We see. We will document this meaning.
An idiom. No, that's not an idiom. An idiom's a saying. I don't know what the word for that is, but it's just a word that means another thing.
We are
Our
not
language
aware.
is full of them.
We have learned a few.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass is one. We learned
Yes.
from you.
Oh, I use them left and right. I'm sure you'll learn more from me.
We will try to document them all.
Are you okay?
We have not noticed any sort of disruptions.
Good.
Well,
Do you want to get some sleep, or do you want to talk?
there is something we wish to discuss.
All right. Go for it.
We learned something while speaking with Lord Marcus 10. And with such knowledge, we have deemed it appropriate to tell you now of our origin.
Okay.
We had withheld it in order to protect you from possible injury or abduction.
Protect me.
We awoke recently in a destroyed facility. We were alone in the darkness. We wandered around through the facility, and the only information we were able to procure was the name Aegis. Lord Marcus Ten's information had assured us that Aegis is not nearly as active as could potentially be. As we did not know Aegis's role in the facility, other than possible creations or owners, it was possible that Aegis would try to acquire us or destroy us to hide knowledge or secrets. Were you to know such information, you may have been deemed another target. We did not wish this to be so.
I appreciate your concern, but I wish you would have told me. I'm not the best when it comes to combat, but I can take care of myself. And I do want to protect you.
Morgana kind of like bounces on her feet a little bit back and forth. You know, the nervous.
Yeah.
thing. We apologize for withholding it from you.
It's fine. I am withholding quite a bit of information from you.
We understand.
We all have our secrets. We all have things we don't want to discuss with others. We all have our small shames.
Aim.
I will never begrudge you keeping things to yourself.
Is shame the thing Zankari described that I was feeling? Or we? Strike 3, baby! Fucked it up again. Anyway, that didn't
A
happen.
bit, yes. Shame. Things you feel embarrassed about. Things you don't want to get out. Things you feel shame over.
We will remember this.
Shame is a difficult thing to process, to deal with. But just know that I will always be there for you. There's hardly anything you could ever tell me that would make me dislike you.
We will always protect you as well, and Ariel.
You must also remember to protect yourself.
Violence protocol allows us to defend ourselves.
Not just in combat, Morgana. You can't let others take advantage of you. And that includes me.
Take advantage of.
Yes. You are naive. Very naive. And you allow others to talk you into things that you may not want to do. You need to remember to make decisions for yourself.
Our primary logic circuits does allow for decision making, but we were built for such activity. We are built to obtain directives and follow them.
And you can grow to make your own.
He tilts her head slightly.
You do not need to always follow others. I'm sure there are plenty of times when following others is good. I mean, you follow us, I follow others. We're currently working for the governess. But there will be times when you need to make up your own mind, when you need to make a decision for yourself and follow through with it.
Our
You
logic
cannot
circuits have allowed for self-directives, but ally directives are also established based on ally categorization.
just because someone is on our side, fighting with us, on our side in combat and in these missions, does not mean that they are your friends, does not mean that they can be trusted. Those that are closest to you are the ones that can hurt you the most.
Friends. And Dariel has said friends. What are those?
Those are allies that they are people you above allies that you trust more, that you actually trust. I consider Karn and Zankari to be allies. I do not consider them friends. I do not trust either of them. They both lie. Zankiri does it in a more roundabout fashion. Karn withholds the truth and withholds very important truths. I am I'm indifferent towards Silver and Katara. I don't know them well, but I haven't exactly made an effort to get to know them. I don't expect them to trust me. To be honest, I don't expect you to trust me.
And Ariel is established quite high on our ally categorization.
I like that. I do. I like you. I like being around you. I trust you more than I trust most people. But I worry for you. I definitely worry for you. I want you to think of yourself as a person, not as a thing.
We are Morgana. We have never sought anything else.
I don't like the way you allow people to talk to you.
We have found zero issues with how we have been referred so far.
You should. You should not allow people to call you a thing, an it.
Do you prefer any means to call us then?
And Ariel. Or, no, Morgana. My bad. You are Morgana. You are you. I call you her mostly, but I don't know if that's what you prefer. I will call you what you want me to call you.
We were built with that being understood to refer to us.
But is that what you want?
We believe that is.
Then I will call you that.
Trying to read the chat and be in the serious
Yeah.
it's rough.
Yeah.
Impossible. You just ignore chat when you're in these moments. It's where everybody dicks around and tries to.
I try not to because I want to see if anyone's saying something important.
Every time anybody goes into a serious moment like this, I feel like everybody's immediate goal is to try and break them by putting stupid shit in the chat.
It's pretty fucking serious. The cleric had never seen such bullshit. We get away from that fucking after. I'm gonna spank you, dumbass.
Oh please! After all that Morgana, we open up her chest thing. Please go into a spanking thing. That's what we need to lose all our monetization. Of none behalf.
You guys are opening up, learning shame, and
Get up, get up in your guts, all right?
Oh god.
Whoa.
Don't give me. I asked permission first.
Yup.
Like a
God.
Anyway, Morgana won't have much else to say, but she will not leave Endario because, well, buddy system, and she has nowhere to go.
Well, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'll tell you the truth.
We do not wish to disturb your evening by probing into you and your past.
It wouldn't disturb my evening. I enjoy speaking with you.
May we ask then of your origin?
my origin. What would you like to know? I am from a small little farming town called Vilbur. I cannot pronounce the name of that island.
Itadia. Itadia.
Yeah, Itadia. My parents are Catherine Forrest and Caleb Morgan. My dad's dead.
Bruh.
As far as I know, my mother is alive. I haven't seen my mother since I was 13.
We detect slight disdain.
I love my mother very much. I left to protect her. Where I'm from, my kind are seen as abominations. So much so that my own father tried to kill me.
We were about to say, towards your father,
Yes,
we sense
he's
disdain. We have realized now.
yeah. Hold up her arm. My father is the reason I have this.
Morgana will look over the arm again, has done it before.
He attempted to toss me off a cliff, and I was able to catch myself. When he saw that I did not fall, he cut off my arm to get me to fall. Only through absurd luck did I fall only a few feet into a outcropping. My mother was able to save me and keep me alive. She's the one that killed my father. Hence my distrust of people in general. My own father attempted to kill me.
And Daryl been looking up at Morgana the whole time?
No, she's mostly looking at her hands,
Oh.
staring at her fake hand.
Morgana will not move. And if you look up at her face, you'll see why. Oh, sorry. That was a terrible yawn. But Morgana will have a very twisted, sorrowful expression. And she will quickly grab you.
Oh. She will actually freeze up. Tense up.
And you are now in a Morgana bear hug.
Okay.
Big save.
No, she just grappled.
No escape.
Okay, hi. Give you a little pat on the back. I'm okay. It's, yeah, you're only the third person I've ever told that. So, I would appreciate if you kept it to yourself.
We are sorry.
Thank you. She is definitely on the verge of crying. Okay. Anything else you want to know?
We don't want to disturb your memories anymore.
Oh, those are the worst of them. They generally go up from there.
She'll just keep holding in Dario.
Okay.
All right, and I guess we transition from there.
As we pick up, two in the same building, a certain Shadar Kai monk ambling her way towards a room. The faint sound of the party outside just barely breaking through the walls. Tira, describe to us what you've been up to as you saw the top the and I don't think, actually, no. You said you had not been there when Andariel and Mogan had gone up, right?
So this really started at the party.
You lead us through where you've been, then.
This really all started for Katira at the party when she was watching what happened to Morgana and just didn't know what to do. And heard, with her stupid high passive perception, as Andariel was leading her back, heard Andariel say to her, "You're a person. You should be treated like a person." And she's just been thinking about that. And then, while walking back, when Andariel walked away and they sent Morgana after her and then brought up the buddy system, Katira's just been thinking about the fact that everyone in the party socially kind of has a connection to someone else except Katira. At least from her perspective. And she's just yeah.
I mean, Zankiri has a little bit of Karen, but
yeah.
I mean,
So
me.
she's just been thinking about just a lot of questions going through her head. Just asking herself, is she still a person? Does she merit the kind of treatment of you deserve to be treated like a person, or is she just a soldier at this point? She thinks about this connection that she feels to Andariel and to Morgana. But she's not sure how real it is because she's the only one that really notices it. She's the only one that acknowledges it. No one else in the party seems to see it or notice it or feel it. So is it real? Is she projecting because of these dreams? And she doesn't meditate like she usually does. That usually gives her some form of an answer, and she's not really sure that she wants to know the answer. So she buys the last room, and she goes up to the room, just kind of mentally and physically drifting. She doesn't really give conscious thought to, like, I'm leaving the party alone. I'm leaving by myself. I'm not doing the buddy system. She's just kind of going through the motions at this point. And goes up to her room and just shuts the door, I guess.
Okay.
And sits on the bed, cross-legged. Just thinking about everything that she's seen and the people that she's traveling with. And she thinks about how when Morgana was so uncomfortable, Andariel immediately went to her. And when Andariel was upset, Morgana immediately went to her. And she doesn't know why she hesitated both times. And she thinks about that. And she thinks about feeling very much not like a person in this exact moment. Feeling very much like the soldier she's been for so many centuries. And not understanding the disconnect that some part of her thought it would be over when she left. That there would be something that was hers again, and she's not entirely sure who she is. And she feels a little strange, so she reaches up to touch her face and just finds tears.
What do you do with your medallion at nights where you choose not to meditate?
It's always on the hip, but at this point, when she feels the tears, she takes the medallion and she holds it. And without focusing on one thing like she normally does, she, with this kind of revelation of things are happening, and I just have to let it, she just holds the medallion and, for lack of a better term, opens the floodgates.
Make me a wisdom saving throw. As you do. As you're sitting alone in this very upscaled room. You're sitting on a double bed, or like a queen size, like meant for two people. Just kind of sitting in your room by yourself, thinking on these. And you take it out. You immediately feel yourself just fall back, just staring up at the ceiling, almost sleep paralysis style. You are conscious, but your body is just rock solid, not moving. And you hear a phrase being repeated over in your mind, as you open the floodgates, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
You are just so overcome. You hear wailing, and just you keep hearing, "Don't leave me, don't leave me, no, you can't go, don't leave me." On repeat, over and over for about probably 15, 20 minutes. Just continually hearing that unmoving, just slightly shaking and tensed up. Until you hear a knock at the door.
She's just crying.
And the voice stops.
If she can get up.
It's at this point you realize the voice you were hearing was you. Crying out to the air that couldn't hear you. "Don't leave me. Please, don't leave me. Don't go. I can't go on without you. Please, don't go." And you're suddenly snapped back into your senses after being overcome with whatever emotion you just dove into. And someone at the door came to check and see what the noise was. See if you were alright. And slowly, like a great labor, are able to pull yourself out of bed. As though you're weighted down by 20 sandbags, you were able to just slide over to the door and open it.
She does.
"Are you alright? I heard wailing coming from in here. I want to make sure everything's okay." There's just like a half-elven gentleman, like a nightgown, standing there.
Yes, it will be. I'm sorry to have disturbed you.
Alright. Are you here by yourself? Just looking around the room behind you.
That question strikes her in a way she's not expecting.
Hmm.
I don't have an answer.
I just wanted to see if there's anything. Anyway, it's probably none of my business. You have a good night, ma'am. I hope whatever you're going through turns out.
Thank you.
And he just kind of slides back and down to his room. As you close the door, you're just kind of imagine very cinematically. You would like. Do you think Katir has the strength to make it back to the bed, or she would just slink down onto the floor there?
She just slides down against the door, just puts her back to the door, and just slides down and just weeps.
And you, I imagine, softly crying now that you've
Yeah,
gotten a
she
noise
is
complaint. Just,
very conscious now of like, I am letting myself weep, but I will be damned if I have somebody get disturbed by this again. I suffer in silence, thank you.
it was very off-putting for you, the sudden just realization that the voices in your head were now coming out of you. I'm sure that it costs you some good sleep. Just
Yeah.
thinking
Thankfully, she only needs half the sleep that normal people need, so she
Yeah.
doesn't get exhausted. But
fair.
and she just thinks about that and just and a part of her resolves with this that she's kind of with the medallion, she's kind of been taking it when she's curious about something, that something was almost like, that was interesting, I want to explore that further. And she kind of realizes at this point that if she's going to be a person, if she's going to be able to be treated like a person, that she has to become a person first. And in order to do that, she has to let go and just see what comes to her.
Beautiful. And as we pull away from Katira, feeling all that, we pan over to yet another tragically sad individual staying at a much less nicer inn, holed up in his room by himself. We come to Grandpa Orc as he's
Connor.
Yes.
I will say, just to leave people on a bit of a cliffhanger, as we're cutting over to Grandpa Orc, Katira hears a knock on her door.
Perfect.
A cliffhanger.
How much was the single room for me?
Like 2 gold.
Okay. Right, and I was typing in advance, so wee hee hoo hoo.
Yeah.
Karen, after going into his room, is going to. There's a bed. Is there anything else in the room?
There's a small nightstand and like a mostly burned down candle.
Does it look like a hefty nightstand?
It could probably hold some weight, but not like a body.
Why, yes, I would love to hide the body I keep on my person. I'm going to push that in front of the door.
Okay. Easy enough. There's also a chair you can like do the triangle with.
Well, then, yeah, but I'll use the chair first, and
yeah.
I assume there's a window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I close.
You're on like the second story, so you're not.
I close the window looking for any shades coming to mock me again.
You're able to do so. I'm assuming you light the candle too before you go into total darkness.
And he'll kind of sit cross-legged on his bed, take a second to creak them, and just like get into this new pose. And he's going to cast Sending.
All right.
To Dagna.
To Dagna Villathane. Just hang on. I got to grab something real quick. Where is it? That's the wrong bag. Okay. Go ahead with your message.
And I recounted it, but I'll send it to you just to make sure.
Go ahead and put in the Roll20 chat. It is the best way to do it.
Yep. And he's going to mutter in his breath as he casts this spell. Dagna. Dizor is dead. Inquisitors. Her order of zealots who almost killed me. I've met Osrin. Can he be trusted? I'm lost among derisive strangers.
You wait and hold out hope for a response. You feel a connection established with the spell. You think. And you hear back. Yes. And you wait.
The whole response.
It's just
And you
yes.
wait.
Just yes.
Yes.
Roll me an insight check.
Advantage because I know her.
Yeah. She kind of did a scoffing yes. It's not the kind of way someone would normally respond to a question. It's the way somebody who is like already in a conversation with like, yes, yes. It seems very covert in her response.
He knows. She's a cleric too, right?
I don't think you would know necessarily a class, but you know she has faith in some deity. I don't know if you've ever seen her do magic, but
That's what I'm asking you for.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think you would have necessarily seen her
Okay.
casting anything. As far as you know,
Okay,
she's just
then.
kind of a woman.
Okay. He'll sit there for how many hours he has, and under the assumption that she doesn't have this ability, he's going to wait a few hours and just sit there and mull over the yes, presumably on the Osrin question. And he's just going to stare into the little crystal shard.
Now glowing like the like the moon in the sky because of the hour of the day. And you just kind of
Let's see here. Who else do we talk to?
As
He
you're
only has
figuring-
one more spell slot. Go ahead.
do you have the message typed out for this next person?
I don't. So
Okay.
this one was going to be a bit more off the cuff.
I was going to do something, leave you a moment to compose that.
Yep.
Datrat, Silver, and Zonkiri. Zonkiri, you said, I think I know where you are. So, Datrat
Yes.
and Silver, where would you all have stayed? Note that the fancy place is very much taken up, and Karen got a room by himself. We can go into what you all are doing, or have been doing for a while. I just need to know where you all are staying. Or are you currently out on the town as this is going on?
That found that corner of the party.
Oh no.
I mean, is there still room in the inn that we're in?
Uh,
That we were in?
Oh no.
You all haven't gotten to a inn yet. Oh god.
What's going on over there, Zonkiri? What's going on over there?
I'm not the focus of this. Stay on topic.
He said stay in your lane.
Party members have been mysteriously disappearing throughout the years.
So, you all haven't found an inn yet. There's some lower end ones. You can all, unless you're kind of just saying you wanted to go with Karen to find the same one, you'll likely end up in just an inn. And if you're going off the duos rule, it looks like you two have been paired off. That duo rule that was strictly adhered
since
to by everyone
everyone
else.
is following the duo rules right now.
Yeah.
Zonkiri fucking dipped.
You guys don't know that.
Yeah.
He's trying to prank me again.
I mean, we pretty much seen. I think we've probably seen Karen and all that. Yeah.
So you were by yourself, Silver, because Dad just confirmed that he is by himself.
Dad dipped. Everyone dipped. I love how Karen's like, Morgana, go watch Dario. We need to do duos so that everyone's kept safe during all this party mayhem. And
I told her where I was going.
Fucking dipped.
I said where I was going. I wasn't doing any dodge roll and shit. They could have followed me if they wanted. I'm just tired and hungry because I got turned away from the rich kid spot because someone wanted to throw around their money.
So we'll go to this, Silver. Would you be out on the town by yourself, or would you have found an inn to settle into for the night? Or something else?
Probably would have followed Karen to the inn if I wasn't actually with that.
Okay.
You get your
Karen,
own room?
Karen, would you have shaken him, or would
I
you
guess
have
I'll
let
go
him come
get
in?
Huh?
Would you have, like,
Shake.
would you have
Yeah.
not let him follow? Or okay, so he follow, and you can get your own room for 2 gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
At least staying in the same inn.
it's like the same floor. Karen's like first door on the left, your end of the hall on the right. You're not close to each other, but you're in the same inn. A last minute
At
accommodation
least
for
you
you.
don't have to hear the teeth grind.
And Datrat is camping around the governess's door in the shadows. You would not be able to get back in there until the morning, because she is in this inner sanctum, which is guarded by like all the royal guards, and outside of her door there are guards, and the windows are barred up. Like it's
Yeah, Connor, he had said he was there from the time that we left. I don't think he ever left.
Give me a stealth check as we rewind to that.
Because he did. I saw him post that in chat a while ago.
I missed that.
When we were talking about it was when we first brought up the buddy system. He went, "I'm still guarding the governess."
Give me the stealth check, Dat. I want to see if you're able to like hide out here.
Please, if someone has a dex card.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, you should give it to him.
We'll see.
I have a dex card, but he needs to roll first before I know whether or not I need to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need me to give it to him.
Yeah.
He's fine.
So, Dat, you find where the governess is staying, and you see the wing on which you can see like every door. He's got 2 guards on it, and it is like the whole wing is like locked up. Did you want to try and hide in that hallway somewhere, or did you want to hide like just near the room? Either way will work. It just will. It depends on how I describe where you're hiding out.
In view of all the doors.
Okay. You find a spot that there's like pillars with like gargoyles atop them. As you're setting up with this, and you all escorted the governess to her quarters, and then guards took over, and you all were relieved. As they did that, you just kind of, in the crowd that is your group, were able to like scurry up a pillar and are like perched, where like sort of over a gargoyle, and you've just blended in, and are like staring down at her door, just waiting, and you have not been noticed by these guards who are just waiting for anything. You're just blending in with the animal architecture. And you just... eyes like a hawk, body like a rat. Just waiting. Is there anything you wanted to do while you were in front of it? Or just watch for things? Because there are some stuff you'll catch by being in this hall.
Just watching for now.
He catches the assassin headed for Lady Moonwatch.
Yeah. You do see a couple representatives entering into rooms that are not their own.
Hey, yo.
The
party's not just happening outside, that's for sure.
As in, specifically, there's like one room where there's like 2 or 3 different people have gone into.
It's the orgy room.
You don't think it's like a behind closed doors kind of meeting. Well, that's the initial thought. Until you start to see what they're dressed in, and that the fact that they're paying off the guards, like a shh. Just don't mention this. And you see just a handful of... It's hard to make out exactly who, but you can see there's a handful of people going into one room. Just for...
they're all going into the Crowford one. I know it.
And I note down whose room it is.
Crowford.
Shane would have it. It is
Crowford.
The Crowford representative's room.
Orgy room.
That's not surprising.
Orgy room.
Because you've got such a good sense of smell too, I'll say that
ass. You smell nothing but ass.
You smell shame.
Wet.
You have passed by the Baron and got the whiff of a sin fiend off him, and you've encountered a few other extraplanar things.
It smelled like sin in there.
Give me a perception check to see if you can just pick up anything particularly interesting about that room.
House of Sin.
What?
God.
15. Okay. You smell just the wafting of like a perfume smell coming from out of there. You ever smell like a cologne or like a perfume that's just like, oh, that's good. Like not even like a directly sexual. It's just like, wow, I really like that. And then of course you get the pussy smell, as Endario puts it.
Did the Moonwatch governess take part in this? Can I tell
No, she is in her room the whole time.
Or
Ignoring it.
You see the guards like, or kind of the ones outside the door. You have a feeling might be able to hear some of what's going on in there, and just kind of like one of them's like rocking back and forth on his heels, like, okay, alrighty, I'm learning more about my local representative than I care to know.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes.
But
They're getting pipes.
They're
check out
calling.
like a distinct smell, like what the perfume may be made out of.
With a
Like
15,
if it's a region specific ingredient.
you could make me a nature check or a history check for that.
Neither. They both suck.
This is actively like an intelligence check, so unless you've got another check that you wanted to, I'd say advantage actually on this one for reasons I'll get into.
Just an in check.
Nature or
cool.
history.
Religion then.
Okay.
Damn it.
Actually, yeah. This will work for that.
Huh. Advantage, you say?
Yeah. So, as part of Hunter's Bane, you have advantage on identifying a handful of extraplanar creatures. You run into 2 other sin fiends, and you don't know if this is a sin fiend of lust or just a regular old succubus, but there's something going on in there, and somebody's enjoying themselves. And that's about as much as you can derive from the situation. You're not sure if one of the members is a succubus, or they hired one, for lack of a better term. But they got some professional. Y'all are
Is
nasty.
Abther in there?
Certainly not.
Abther fucking.
In fact, for funny's sake, I want to. His room is next to theirs, and he will be banging against the wall.
If Palpatine can do it, so can Abther. Believe.
But yeah, that's what you get. And we'll see if that pays off into anything the next day.
What's a smell?
So it's not possible for me to note down who exactly went into the room, right?
Not now, but you might recognize people the next day, depending on checks, because you're a little far off. Because the governess is one of the first rooms. This is down a ways.
Okay, noted.
So maybe in the next day, but
Don't tell me Zankiri. I don't want to know. I'm better off thinking they literally just feed off souls. That's fine. So I have a second messaging spell.
Connor, do you want me to tell the party?
We'll move past this, but you have my full permission to DM them unsolicited the information, or just DM them like something completely random and let them play roulette on whether or not you told them, or just for saying hi.
Joke's on you, I'm going to read it either way.
So, as we cut back over to Karen,
Open my monster manual.
who's the second target for your sending?
He's just sitting there waiting, and eventually when she doesn't contact him back, after like an hour or so of waiting, he kind of rolls the stone in his hand, and then a thought occurs, and a nervous smile quickly scrubs his face. And he'll kind of just lean against the wall and send this message to Cole.
Well, you said to Cole?
Yeah.
Let me start shuffling for notes.
I'm not sure who it is.
should be.
That guy.
I thought so. I was just checking over my notes.
Yeah. He's dead. We're about to find out.
I copied out what you'd send me, and I can't find it. Weird.
It's right in my bio. Just I'll go in there real quick.
I could probably just need to update what I have written down.
It's the third paragraph. No, the fourth one. I put spaces in between them by age. It should be in the 28 age area.
Okay. I do need to update my notes on
Actually, no. Yeah. The second 28. Yep.
You said third paragraph?
No, fourth one. Fourth one down.
That's how you spell. That's why I was having trouble finding it. I do have that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I sent him this. Hey, Runt. Not dead. I am dealing with some fangy git business, though. You have 25 words to respond. How is everything? And he just sits there and rolls over and smiles on. He probably just knocked over some shit in his lab.
You get a response to that. Oh, it's that's 3 words. Very good here.
5, 6.
I am counting. Things have been alright since you left, but it's nice to be able to hear from you again, Karen. I think he has 10 left.
Yep. A dark shadow comes over.
What you been up to? You old git. Stay in love. And it cuts off. Assume he was going to say hope.
And this is the part where nothing happens as Pyro is out of third level slots.
Mm-hmm. He never said he was the smartest guy. In fact, it was implied he was the opposite.
He was smart in terms of being able to do the job he was meant to do. Otherwise, yeah.
Low whiz. Thank you.
This guy was more high whiz limit.
And he sends you back ascending. Just
oh, does he ascending too?
Yeah.
Good.
I've found working here to be very good. Things have changed on Castor recently. It's hard to believe, but it's gotten much worse. Blood tithes increased. Sacrifice and mules more taken. And nobility ramping up some plan. I think that's the 25.
Aaron snarls, so count that as many words as you want.
Okay.
What? Did my mic pick up? Can you use some?
You make us. Hee hee.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You're both bitches.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Don't worry about it.
I feel like I should.
It plays into the WoW joke about you.
Yeah, sure. Oh, great, Reverend Dreth. Fuck, I forgot.
Vampire Afterlife, bitches.
I forgot.
It's easily forgettable. Go ahead with your
respond. So I'm just gonna say one word, and that's snarl.
Mm-hmm. Easy enough.
How many? And then just going to pretty much start pseudo interrogating him. So I'll probably run past 25 almost immediately, just making sure like all of his immediate underlings are safe.
Oh, you're running through names and asking who's
pretty much making sure he's safe, making sure anyone's like nearby who I vaguely remembered. And pretty much just the general layout of things. He's just interrogating him. So I probably run into 25 almost immediately.
Okay. You're rattling off names, which are about, you keep them short. You don't go on, like, full titles if they have one. You just kind of keep it to, like, first name or first and last name.
And then the exact last one I go on is, what is Garza doing?
He, unfortunately, is out of thirds for the day, as you realize that he does not come in for a response. But you make a note to yourself on the little, like, notebook, like the sticky pad that they have on desks, to, like, check in with him in the morning at some point. But you have a feeling, because you've met with this individual in person, you have a feeling he's definitely working on the answer to that question and will probably get back to you. How distracted would you say you were during this conversation?
Yeah, see, now he is too pissed off to sleep. You know what? Karen is very pissed off. Does this place have a bar too, or is there a bar nearby?
There's one downstairs.
He's going downstairs.
One moment. I need to check something.
There's a vampire waiting outside my door. Dead.
Double checking something. Give me a moment. Okay.
Inquisitor listening behind door, stabs their brain. Here's character sheet. No pug.
Pugless behavior.
Jesus fucking Christ, Fergus! Anyway. I'm not reading that.
I'll read that later.
I'm reading it right now.
It's too big of a fucking wall. I don't know what to do with it.
I'm reading it now.
Did I miss anybody?
Don't think so.
No.
So you get up and unblock the door and step out. You keep the item on you at all times, right?
Of course, I keep it. I keep it, that strap on me. I have it tucked in under my thick shirt. That's per usual. By the way, the thing about the note, no, I leave no trace. None of that. No names.
Okay.
And usual Karen's wearing either just a befuddled, slightly miffed, and or just a happy-go-lucky expression.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rictus fury mark on him. Just he's gonna have wrinkles.
No,
he already has wrinkles. He has more wrinkles. His face cracks, creating more wrinkles.
Kind of seeing how distraught you are, the bartender gives you the first one free.
Yeah.
As everybody else is raving and having a great time, you're just very clearly sticking out, and he just gives you the first ale on the house.
Yeah. And just like this, he just wants to be left alone. He's in the farthest away from everyone else as he can, and hopefully someone won't fuck with him. Hopefully.
Does Karen just get shit-faced, or does he just...
Yes, he is in fucking sensed.
Okay. You down. Mark off...
I'm breaking out the old man liver.
Mark off about 1 silver for all the drinks you've downed. Hardy fellow. But I'd say about a silver's worth of just cheap booze, unless you're springing for nicer stuff.
I'll take nicer stuff just so I don't gotta do math.
Fair. It also seemed like something Karen would do is just be okay with cheap booze.
He's angry. He just he put down a gold.
Mm.
However much that gives him, he drinks.
You're given nice mixed drinks, something like an old fashioned. Nothing too much work into it, but it's nice and it gets the job done.
God help the random bar jackass who bumps me.
Yeah. Which does happen because it is, like I said, Mardi Gras out. So, what do you do when the first person like slides over and rams into you and is like, "Ah, sorry," oof,
Well,
and like retches.
since they do say so, do they retch on me?
They don't throw up, but they're like, "Oh, sorry."
As long as they apologize, he's just only going to glare at them, and then just as soon as they leave his radius, he's going to just sit there. Make
Okay.
sure he didn't just get pickpocketed.
Yeah, you're good.
How much?
How much what?
I asked if it got pickpocketed. You said yes.
Oh no, I was saying yes as in yeah. You checked to make sure you pickpocketed. No, you were not.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what sorry, misunderstood. You were not pickpocketed. I was just saying yeah. You make sure you're not.
Yeah, he just glares at them until they go away.
Yeah. 30 seconds later,
they did apologize and leave.
He forgets because drunk people.
Second time they're getting thrown.
Oh, he doesn't bump into you again. Some people try and like. One person decides they're going to try and be your friend and sit down at the table with you. It's like, hey, you're sitting here by yourself. Well, how you doing?
Barfloozy? Nani?
Like a really friendly drunk who just decides it's now the world's problems are theirs.
You're having a problem, and I think I'm the solve it.
Back into his cup and then sips it back down.
Karen just sits.
He can't taste it anymore.
Karen just looks up, stares up at the ceiling, waiting for a sign of Ilvian to spare this mortal.
Well, he has bones, and that's her symbol, so...
Then he's going to take one hand, palm first, put it on his face, lesser restoration, and then shove them slowly away.
That is the funniest dick over, because you cure his drunkenness after all his effort, and just make him waste all that money. Just... Oh.
Hey, now he can get drunk all over again.
Yeah, but now...
And I just... Fucking, I just glare at him.
You see he goes back to the bar and starts getting more drinks. He's like, motherfucker.
Let it be known, these hands heal and take away from your wallet.
You do that, and then that's about as interesting as it gets for the night. And you're
okay,
able to...
good. I didn't want to have to bust out the fucking inflict wounds yet.
No, somebody drops an axe in the middle of the table and is like, oh, no. You're able to wrap it up from there and make your way up to your room.
Yeah, he's decked, but he just ends up casting lesser restoration on himself too, just to get the overall fucked situation off of him. He just was trying to put some time in between that event and him.
Fair.
And he's just like, gotta be up in the morning, and then he just face plants into the bed. The door is blocked again.
Okay.
He puts the bear trap in front of the window.
Oh. There is something crinkling under your pillow after you crash down.
Oh. I almost just put my hands in front of my face, but he just like mumbles into the pillow, God damn it! And then just reaches under.
A small sealed paper. With the heraldry of Caster.
His nose just starts bleeding out of pure fury. What does the note say, God?
It's blank. And you see a blank note and having lived there, give me a insight check just on what the fuck does this mean?
Baseline or advantage?
Baseline on this.
24.
You know that they monger on fear, and this is proof that they could have gotten to you at any point. You were alone, you went down and got drunk and came up here, and they had access to your room. This is them flaunting that we found you, and you're under our eye. We chose not to get you, and that's the only reason you're not caught. Remember that. But you were left grappling for what that could mean, or why they wouldn't. As well as...
Where the people were staying, the residents.
The representatives?
Yes.
They're in this inner ring.
I would happen to know where Osrin's staying.
In that inner ring.
Yes, somewhere in that interesting order.
That same hallway Dat's on.
She did say yes to you trust him.
Mm-hmm. You also get the feeling that this could be a secret note of some sort. It just isn't revealing its writing currently. But that's what you get with a 24.
I don't see being able to get in there, and last time I wandered off alone like that didn't end well.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure I wanna. So Karen's just going to sit there. Actually, no. He knows Silver's in this fucking building. He's gonna go. He's gonna go to Silver's door.
Silver kind of wakes up at the sound of it because it's late.
What you want? As I open the door.
He just shows he just ashen faced. He shows you the note.
I'm assuming he explains.
He shows me what?
The note.
The blank note, but with the Castor crest on it. There, here.
Well. So, get another hotel? I'm guessing?
They're tracking me. It doesn't matter. Just thought someone else should know in case I wake up sliced to shit in the morning. And he just blankly just walks back to his room.
Okay.
And he does the best he can to lock it up again.
Okay.
There's nothing he can do. He can't get to Osrin. That's his best bet.
Well, now I kind of wish I had a roommate. Close the door.
Do you do anything special with the note tonight?
I will. Would I know of any other attempts to use some sort of invisibility on these types of things? Some sort of terror tactics, something like that, could make a check.
I mean, you know vaguely of the spell Illusory Script. But that's...
The thing is, Pirate does it. Let me look at it real quick. I don't typically mess with illusions or enchantment. Illusionary Script.
I'm copy-pasting it for you.
Please do. I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he used this earlier, if you recall, the spell scroll snatch.
Well, I guess I'm assuming that means that the symbol would fuck up if I bring it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not fucking mentally prepared for this. So I guess I'll just hold on to the note.
Okay.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I was asking if there's anything you wanted to fiddle with it, or do anything particular.
I'll try blood vampire.
You give me a perception or investigation check. And you just drop some blood.
Wisdom or intelligence on the orc? I'm gonna go with perception.
Nice.
You drop the blood and you see it slightly displaces over certain spots to suggest there might be lettering that's hidden.
Knowing this, I will use more blood to reverse engineer this.
The blood isn't quite getting the revealing that you're looking for. It's only slightly displacing. You can't make out the characters. It's just kind of is showing you that there's something there. The blood isn't running over like it should be soaked into the paper.
Okay.
And so with the blood-spotted paper, you've got an idea that there's something here, but you haven't figured out quite how to reveal it. It's really puzzling you.
Go for my spells. Only the thing I can try is light, as in sunlight.
Would you want to try that?
Yes.
You do see that in sunlight, the message appears. As if searing certain parts of the paper, you see it suddenly chars black and reveals the message. It says to you, essentially, without getting into like word for word, that The writer is curious about you and would like a chance to meet tonight in the midst of the crowd, and gives you a location in town to meet them. And if you can't make it tonight, then there is no meeting.
Bring Silver with you if you're gonna go.
It does say to come alone.
He just sees this. The one gear turning in his noodle.
Would you like to know the name? That's signed
off. Yeah, give me the fucking name.
Okay. It's signed a Casanova P. As in, like, abbreviation for the last name.
Casanova P. Can I make a check?
I'll tell you now, you don't recognize the name. Which they did, you do recognize that they gave you a name.
Oh. Oh no. Oh, that means,
you better not actually go alone, you motherfucker.
They can kill me whenever they're watching me, fucker. Either I don't go. Either I don't go or they kill me anyway. This could be a chance to get some info.
Before you die.
Or I die.
Or both.
Just have Silver shoot them in the dome while you die.
Get info before you die.
I guarantee you I'm being watched by familiars right now. I guarantee you. They have bats on me, and it's not Varshi fucking with me this time.
At least to your knowledge.
Oh, secretly, Zenkiri, the long pole, the Zenkiri of this realm, this is the Bizarro Zenkiri.
To be completely honest, I'm more worried about Zankiri than the vampires right now. He's been out in that forest.
No, he's not.
You don't technically know that Zankiri is not a vampire.
True.
He's used the light cantrip thing in front of you. He knows.
And what happened when he touched that medallion?
You said it was creepy, and you handed it back to me.
You also noticed that his hand slightly sizzled, holding the relic.
Yeah, but he's used the direct sunlight thing in front of you, and that didn't do it. Sort of thing, as far as anyone's told me.
Yeah.
So he knows you're not a vampire, at least, and his beef is with vampires, not undead, specifically.
So what does Karen do now that he's found his charge? I'd say also with the Nat 20 that you got earlier, you get a feeling that setting a note to only be revealed in sunlight feels very anti-vampire. A note that can only be read if it's placed in sunlight seems like something you would write something you don't want a vampire to be able to read. And that's the end of what I'll give you for your insights and perceptions.
There's my message to you. Karen is going to go over the mental pros and cons as if there's a jury out here judging him for his decision.
Almost in a chat room, even.
As if, and they'll take every chance they can to talk. The pros on this is that, according to that message just now, I'm leaning toward this is some inner strife shit that I can use to fuck with him. I can get information, and literally, this is lead, and they can kill me whenever already. I'm straight up just sitting here alone. I can be killed just whenever. Second, in the cons, there is a strong chance I could die. We do not know how into the aristocratic order they are here. They could have turned several people. And the only thing preventing that is perhaps being in the aforementioned crowd. This is a very crowded area, right? Not done in an alleyway. I'm not going to this fucking alleyway, Connor.
It's in the middle of the in the heat of the partying vibes. It's
and even though I have seen the opening to that particular Blade movie where there is a you know the one.
I do not.
I do not.
I'm holding you to assume I've watched a Blade movie.
Think about Until Dawn?
No, it's the one where there's I know it's a Blade movie. Where it's the party scene, and then the one dumbass who's is just like, I'm not a vampire. And then they get murdered.
So it gives you basically the name of a place in town and vague directions how to get close to it.
It was specified to not come alone.
No, it was said to specifically come alone.
Yeah, you know, but it wasn't said to not tell anyone.
They don't tell you not to tell anyone, just that to be quick and to come alone. Though you can probably ascertain the implication on how they'd feel about you telling someone.
Do I tell Silver or do I not tell Silver?
That's up to you, big boy.
Just to myself.
Well, here's the question: does Karn think if he tells Silver, will Silver follow him?
That's the thing. I don't know. Silver's the one I know the least. After Morgana, I've actually talked with Silver a little bit, I think.
I don't think we actually ever talked. Except for you calling me an inquisitor.
Wait, did I call you? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. That's more a Daryl shtick, so I maybe, I don't know. He's going to fuck.
He's gonna fuck?
Again.
Maybe.
The orc nurse returns.
Not with me.
Come here, Tinny Can. I need something to bang. No, anyway. Alright. You know what? Fuck it. If I die, I die.
Okay.
Not like it'll affect anyone at this point. Part of the happiness. Probably see I'm gone anyway. So
it'd make one person particularly happy.
Thank you, Peanut Gallery. I hope your arm is eaten by Rust Monster. I go.
Oh, no.
This is essentially the spot in which she's telling you to meet.
Can you point again? The Titan's footprint market.
Yeah, like at that dot.
You know what?
Oh no.
He's going to. Yeah, he's going. He's going.
Okay.
Just very stone faced.
You are like shoving your way through the crowd, careful not to get pickpocketed, and you start to slide your way into the markets that are just crowded with people buying just inane shit.
He's particularly. I do need to specify. He has the ring ready. He did.
Which ring?
The one that Osrin gave him.
Ah.
He has light set to go on that one, and the clasp is closed, so it's just like there.
Okay. And it's a very easy thing. It's like a free action. You can just like use your thumb and flick it, and it opens, and then the like sunlight's exposed on the bottom, so that when you handshake, they don't know until they're already caught.
Got it. And he's going to take a very special occasion. He's going to loosen the straps on his pack a little bit and kind of have it sit in his lower back where he remembers that particular, and just lean it back a little bit where it's poking.
Okay.
Right, it's sitting right where that he knows that Inquisitor needle would go.
Okay. And you make your way to the. It's like into it too. It's not even on the surface. It's like.
God,
here.
I'm going into the vampire rave. They're all vampires.
Aaron is gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I get to roll someone who people won't hate.
So you're shoving people to the side. You see people like crashing into stands.
He's in no mood. He's exercising his full rights as a 300+ pound orc.
You see there, just off out of the area, you see just
290.
It's not an alley, but it's like a
Not going into an alley.
It's not an alley. It's how to describe
a dark
this?
hole in a wall.
People aren't flooded through here, and it's got some modicum of privacy because of how the stands are set up. It seems to be like a place where there's like one business with like 5 facets, and they have like this central area between theirs that they just like put shit. And it's not a complete circle. It's just kind of loosely carving that circular piece, but it's enough to where like it looks like it's behind the counter, even though it's just around the cart.
I don't want to leave the.
And it's in a place where like somebody could probably see you, especially if there was some thrashing. But if you were still and pressed up, you could probably blend in.
I don't want. According to him, nobles could just body slam him and hold him there. So he's going to get as close as he can without being being able to even be physically grabbing him.
There is
out.
a figure hooded in a like bright red hood, sitting there, like perfect posture, just sitting, and wearing one metal gauntlet.
Oh god damn it!
Just sitting and waiting.
Oh no.
I'm not going in there. I see the fog wall. I'm going to cross my arms, pretty much just out of hand's reach of this creature. Well, actually, no, three links of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cross my arms. Do I reckon? Is this the bitch? Wait,
you can't see their face from this angle. You'd have to get up in front of them.
No, I don't trust him. I'm gonna sit right the fuck where I am.
Good call.
Their head slightly turns. You get a little glimpse of some more facial features before they go back to staring at seemingly the wall. And there's a crate basically opposite of them.
Yep.
And you see she reaches forward and like slides the crate a little bit and then sits back upright.
He's going to walk forward, move the crate like 3 feet back. He's at the very longest edge of where it is acceptable, and he's going to not sit down, and he's just going to stand to a point where if she rushed him, she or he, whatever, he can kick it up at the crate up at the mid dodge.
Okay. She doesn't look up to you. It says
he has the for this entire situation, he is very flighty. He has pretty much existential dread written on his face, and he has the dodge action just perpetually. He's ready to run.
She speaks to you and says, "Please, sit down. I will not have harm come to you from me during this conversation. I need answers from you, and this is the only way I can do so, without arousing suspicion."
What? You're a little quiet.
Yeah, the volume's a little bugging up.
I will speak up then. Please, speak. I will not have harm come to you from me during this meeting.
A male voice or a female voice?
Female.
And the person I saw in the forest was female?
Yes.
Okay. Insight check?
Go ahead.
By the grace of the great Buddha, here! Where the fuck's insight? 14.
14. I will keep you right now. She just seems kind of tense, like you are. Please, sit. This is the only way I can speak to you without arousing suspicion. We don't have long either.
And keeping the dodge action on, just ready to roll off that crate, will very tensely sit on the crate.
And in doing so, you can't see it as the same person you saw before, now looking at you.
He's just... Well, you know how resignation and a glare would just mix there? That's what he's got.
Without leaning forward or moving, still staying in her perfect posture, just deathly still, she says, I need to understand you more. You don't make sense.
Then ask.
You possess an item of great power that could wreak havoc on the vampiric aristocrats and upper society members of our home. You had the opportunity to give it to an order that would be more than happy to clear your home of us. A clear goal of your kind, deserters. Why would you not give it to them? Surely you must not have reservations for us, your enemy whom you hate.
He'll mull that over for a second. He won't take his eyes off her. No. My issue is that they were too zealous in their intent. They were, for lack of a better purpose, too light in terms of restraint. Should they use this item for their intended purpose, they would just supplant to become the new regime. My issue is that nothing would change. If it is to change, there should be a positive outcome. My people have labored hard enough. They do not need a different taskmaster.
We all labor for the good, for the greatness of us all to prosper under.
He spits on the ground.
She doesn't flinch. It still does not add up. Surely you would have just joined them and been their restraint then. There are many other ways to go about how you could enact warfare on the vampiric individuals of our home.
I know. I've thought of them.
Then why not act on them?
Because it's too easy. Too many ways that this could just go awry. All the easy outcomes just let me wander off. No, I will have a hand and fix this to make sure no one abuses it, because I will be dead very soon regardless, so I won't be able to be corrupted by power.
It's about then like somebody stumbles down the alley and she just like puts her boot on their shoulder and like kicks them further into the crowd. Just without
Wrong way.
Yeah, like he stumbles in towards y'all's conversation, just flip plane on the shoulder and shove. Very strong. Just
he wasn't using his iframes.
Is it? It's strange that you say you care about the state of your country.
I care about its people, and I do not care for the way it's been being run.
Then it seems as though you don't understand what we face back home.
No, what I understand is I see children torn apart in the streets by monsters drunk on their own product. What I see are chains shackled to my kin, to my countrymen. What I see are dawdling children drunk on a little speck of immortality spit down by their empress. For shits and giggles, they laugh with glee as my people are torn apart. They deride us. They ignore us until they are hungry. And here I am, sitting on the squalid shithole, trying to deliver this fucking package, being screamed at by so many fucking things. And now I'm being badgered by inquisitors playing boogeyman. So you tell me, what do I not understand?
Why not just get rid of it or pass it on to someone else who could use it then? I don't get why you would want to involve yourself with what would be the caretaking of this item. Why do you care if you're going to be dead soon? What happens? Surely you must be more resigned to just give up.
Music bot.
Yep. Aaron looks at this. She looks relatively young, right?
It looks like she must have been turned at a young age, but you know vampires don't naturally age.
Yeah. That's the angle's going with. I do not know how old you are, so you might understand this if you are young. But it is the responsibility of the elders to take care of the next generations before they pass on. That is my purpose, and I have not found an adequate successor.
And Castor works so that none need pass away from the annals of age.
And what a fantastic job you've done. I see famine, I see death, I even see it was part of rampant crime, you see.
No one said the path to paradise would be pretty.
Right. The road to heaven is paved in corpses, I see.
I don't. I understand how you
many?
misunderstand the greater purpose.
Then please, oh great, and he sneers and says, "Oh great one, enlighten this unfortunate cattle."
She's just kind of starting to sneer back at you, finally seeing some facial expression. I've been following you since you arrived on this planet. I saw you get snatched. I understood the ritual you were put through to be cursed. I followed you to Steelwood, then to Moonwatch. I saw the undoing in your private meeting with whatever order you had met with. I followed you back on your trip, escorting this politician. And it doesn't seem as though you're ready to slow down in your attempts to protect what you think you need to protect. But you don't have the perspective that the elders and immortals have on the situation. You can't. There's not enough time in your life to understand all that is going on. That is why we all must listen and understand the wisdom of the ages brought to us by the elders. That is why people like you who desert and work against us are a greater threat than foreign enemies.
Let me ask you this one question. If your elders are so wise, if they are so benevolent, then why aren't we prospering? How long will it take?
As long as enemies of Kasturg exist, Kasturg must fight back.
And as long as Kasturg exists, I guess they'll have enemies. Because your philosophy is inherently flawed, as you've placed yourselves on such a high pedestal that you refuse to look down for fear of falling off. I think we're done here.
Very well. I shall honor my agreement not to harm you for this conversation, but do not expect mercy should we meet in combat.
Before I go, were you the one who killed Dizor?
Why does it matter to you?
She seemed like that restraint for them you were talking about. So that is inherently your doing, if it was so.
I will not disclose mission information to a foreign enemy.
Technically, he'd be a domestic enemy.
I was about to say, what happened to only a deserter?
You have clearly aligned yourself to a foreign power in your escort duties. I am aware that you have sought citizenship of other places. You have renounced your home, which has made you a foreign enemy.
Whatever Kasturg was, it was never my home. The people were. You're just the parasites clinging to it. And he's gonna get up and he's gonna walk away.
As you're leaving, she says, "It is unfortunate you will not live to see what we can become. I wish I could give you the perspective that we have. Unfortunately, you will likely find you will only end up as the cattle you campaign on the behest of."
He stops for a second, keeps walking.
And she disappears into the crowd in another direction. And you're able to make your way back to your inn with no problem.
Right.
No notes, nothing special. just you've arrived. Any closing thoughts before we pan away to someone else?
I didn't see anyone else. Could I have made a check to see if I, walking up, noticed any other cloak figures?
While walking up to your in perception. If it was during the conversation you're trying to look, it would be a disadvantage because you were watching.
Yeah, no. He had his eyes on her.
Okay. So you're going with 15, unless anybody has a card they wanted to spend? To watch for...
Nothing.
Okay. So with a 15...
No, I was calling her a bootlicker.
Oh, I caught that. Y'all really do be putting me through it with that. I was like, holding back glasses. A good thing you couldn't see my face.
I was making a joke about Soviet being red blood.
Oh yeah.
Say hope!
Yeah. You get back to your room and don't think you saw anyone following you. But you never know. Especially not now. But whatever grace this person had, just wanting to ask you questions, you must assume is used up after that. And you go to bed at night and seal up the door.
Yep.
Take a long rest.
He'll fill up the thing, and then he'll go to sleep with the candle with light cast on it.
Okay.
And just look the other way.
The only person we haven't got to what they're doing is Zonkiri. So Zonkiri. And Silver, if you had anything you wanted to do before you got to your room. Though it seemed as though you didn't have any plans, so I assumed.
Nope, just keeping one eye open, hoping no vampire comes.
Valid.
Or they're taking a bullet.
He might have noticed that Karen left and came back about an hour later.
Your room is up the hall. He wouldn't have heard anybody pass by his.
Oh,
unless he was up and patrolling.
I thought it was the other room. I was like, yeah, but never mind.
Yep. So Zonkiri, what have you been up to since you left the congressional hall at sunset?
Well, after Dat stayed back and Karn gave the idea that we should split off into pairs to make sure we don't get picked off, watched Morgana and Andariel head off in one direction, watched Silver and Karn head off in the other direction, and basically just kind of stopped at a local vendor, just like a map of the city and the attractions.
Easy enough.
And then reading off through it, just what's going on at the moment. What places are having events, that kind of thing. Might take them a little while, and then bang, bang, bang.
Oh?
Katira, open up.
Katira.
That's right. He did say he came to my door. Katira, not expecting the loud banging, starts for a second, stands up and opens the door. Yes?
Hello. I was wondering, perchance, if you would join me on a venture throughout the city. It would appear that Khan and Silver have gone off. Dat is guarding the governess, and Ariel and Morgana have skittered off to their rooms. So I would like to ask you if you would accompany me on my journey. Your attendance
Very well.
would be greatly appreciated.
Very well.
All right, then. I've been looking over this pamphlet. Do you know the attractions in this city?
I do not.
Tell me, what kind of things are you interested in? I've been looking over the list for quite some time. I don't know much about you.
I wish I could say. I don't know much of my interests at all.
Well, then perhaps we should go with one of mine.
I have no objections.
Let's see. How about we head over into the Colosseum? I could use with a little blood sport at the moment. It's been a while since I've seen true carnage.
I would agree with that. Although I think knowing that it is at least somewhat consented will be a comfort.
So you all headed to the Coliseum?
Yes.
Yep.
Sounds like it. Fight Club.
I wanted
Captain.
you all to go to the cat. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I sent you a question. That's kind of what you asked.
Well, now it's kind of shifting towards arena.
I'm also now realizing that Zankiri going up to each of us is basically
right
when Zuko joins the gang and they each go on their life-changing field trip with Zuko.
Yes. That's on purpose.
Yeah! Come on, Zuko. Let's go.
He is very much, just like Zoe, he's very much trying to ingratiate himself with each person individually
I love
and tie himself to the party.
It's amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm just waiting for whoever is Toph going, I want my life-changing field trip with Zankiri.
So you're making your way to the arena. And they have a specialty here.
Oh.
Or at least there's like a poster for tonight's event. It is the blood.
The boulder.
The boulder! I'm double checking because there's a word. I'm making sure I'm using right.
Don't worry, we'll correct you if you aren't.
No. I'm just gonna shift it entirely. The Slaughter King of Etherfort is performing. And you see there's an image of what appears to be some sort of drow figure with glowing red eyes depicted with a wicked knife in hand, just like with like almost like enchanted crimson blood flowing up and around him, like with a "Are you not entertained" pose, standing on top of like a mountain of corpses of different monsters. And just special tonight, see him.
One night only.
Yeah, see how many monsters he can fell before we have to bring him back in. You've not really been on the continent much, but if you'd like to give me an investigation check, instead of history, if you want to give me an investigation check, you all might be able to ascertain what is this individual. What the fuck are they doing?
I've been on the continent a lot.
Fair.
Shall we work together then?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No.
Too late. Sorry.
Go ahead. This is
good.
So, after you can ask like one of the attendee people and get most of the information, then pick it up from context clues. It appears as though there was a serial killer who was very famous in Etherfort, and instead of being executed, he negotiated a very unique sentence where he's now a prisoner of the Colosseum, and he regularly pays for his crimes by performing these shows of just slaughtering as many beasts as he can. And the knife he has is said to get stronger the more the audience cheers for him. So as people cry out for him to like slaughter the things in there, it begins to glow. He just draws up the blood and viscera from them and just puts on this murder show. And people eat it the fuck up.
Katira is fucking intrigued. Intrigue is not an emotion, and Katira is fucking intrigued. Just like going, an interesting way to deal with criminals. I must know more.
He's like the crown jewel of the Colosseum.
What the shit?
they have other events where
You say
people
it's-
can like enter in to like battle things, or they'll just have other entertainers. When he comes out, it's like a thing. It's like they bring him out on special occasions, kind of like you know how they wheel out Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. It's basically how he's
No.
wheeled out. Just
My God.
and then they hand him his knife from a special box, and just evil cackling can be heard as they release the first monster.
You know,
What the
Katera,
shit?
you say rather interesting way of dealing with people like this. I actually find this rather. What's the right word? Homely. Reminds me a lot of the ways we used to do things back at the academy when we were being trained for our service in the military. One thing I learned recently is that most of the rest of people's battles like this in the Colosseums, especially when you're pitting hatchlings against each other, they don't often result in death. This is much more my people's speed.
Interesting. I think I am far more familiar with simple trial by combat, but not where, if you succeed, you continue to engage in trial by combat.
Really? That's that's my people's entire way. Every Githyanki you ever meet has slaughtered probably dozens of his own kin in the arenas, training throughout the academy. Only the cream of the crop surviving the brutal gauntlets. Way of weeding out the weaklings. The stupid, the infirmed.
I suppose in a strange manner that is familiar.
I wonder if the military.
For different
I wonder
purposes.
if the militaries do things similarly here, or if they're as soft as they were.
It depends on the military. Mine.
Such as.
On another planet, though not the one I came from, I'm told. I was a soldier. Our training was very different. It was suppression and loss of emotion so that it could not be manipulated, turned against oneself in combat. The enemies that we faced were staggeringly different from anything anywhere else. Any slip up, and it would consume you.
Interesting. My people taught the exact opposite to our military. We were taught to harness our emotions, to take heed of them, to let the rage and indignation drive us to kill our foe. What were the creatures you faced?
DM, what were the names of them?
They're called the Astray, although they're spelled a
Yeah.
little bit differently than the word. The reason they're called that is because they are based. That is a very apt description of how they come to be. People who've gone astray just find themselves becoming this there.
It is a strange force of the energies on the planet. It corrupts and twists emotions into something perverse and foul. It twists them into some sort of strange creature. Any slip in your emotions and you risk becoming one of them yourself.
Fear, anger, hunger, loneliness, that sort
Anything.
of thing. Reminds me of the Sorrow Sworn. I didn't realize you had been part of the military.
Nor I you.
Every Githyanki is a military man or woman. I don't meet a single one that hasn't been in dozens or even hundreds of battles.
It is an honor, then.
What is?
To be a soldier, to be in the military. For your people.
Most of us see it that way. Devoting ourselves to our people, our culture, our queen. Fighting and dying on the front lines against an eternal enemy. One which never ceases harrowing our doorsteps. One which we cannot allow to infiltrate and devour the universe at large. Ancient beings.
I understand that quite well.
But we are not a monolith. You said you were from the military. Tell me, how were you discharged?
I served for 500 years. I came into the natural end of my service and was retired.
Interesting. My people don't have discharges. I fought for almost 800 years, and then... well, I deserted.
I mean, you would have had to end up here, I imagine.
Yes, well, assuming we weren't coming here for a campaign.
Of course.
But no. I grew disillusioned with the way things were going. Did you know? A few weeks before I deserted, just before I started getting the supplies together, I actually took a roster of the people that I came through the academy with. You want to guess how many were still alive? How many had been promoted up through the ranks?
Only yourself.
No, actually, just me and my old partner. We used to work together, along with a third, though he technically wasn't part of the academy. He was raised elsewhere. We worked together, and then I realized everything they had promised us was true for some. There were far too many foot soldiers. Most of us would die on the front lines like trash. I couldn't bear to see everything I'd worked for wasted away like that. There had to be something more than just the battle. Had to be something more beyond. So I left. Now I find myself here, lost and alone. Not alone. And that just nudges her with his elbow.
No. Not alone.
Foreign world, foreign land. So strange here, don't you think?
Yes. Very strange. Overwhelming at times.
Oh, do tell. I've had my own share of irritations with this place.
It is difficult when one cannot be irritated, when one cannot be much of anything.
Oh, I don't believe that in the slightest. You said it yourself. You were overwhelmed.
I suppose that is something, isn't it? As part of this service, we are We lock away our emotions. It is a choice. I was not conscripted. Though I do not remember why I chose, I remember that I chose. It is slow going to recover these feelings. Sometimes they creep up on me when I am least expecting it.
I mean no offense by this, but you remind me of a hatchling a bit in that way. Learning how to process and handle their emotions.
I take no offense. It is true in many ways. I am not the person that I was while I was in the service, and I am not the person that I was before I entered. I don't even remember her name.
Shame.
I am someone new now and having to craft it with my own two hands.
Not to be presumptuous, but if you would, might I offer my assistance in helping? I dealt with quite a lot of soldiers back in the day when I finally got my command, and transitioning was not the easiest thing for many of them. If you want, I could lend you some help.
I would appreciate that, yes. Thank you.
Of course. I'm here to help after all. But
I know.
such things are for a less joyous time.
Of course.
Zonkiri turns to the arena where serial killer man is slaughtering some beast, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are kind of below the lip. It has that arena thing where you go up and then into the stadiums, and then it has a up and down, kind of like a football stadium. You can't quite see down into it, but you can hear the raving of the crowd as he's clearly getting in some cuts.
Zonkiri starts, yelling along with the crowd. At least it appears so at first. Watching the fight, I'm not sure how good is Katira's insight.
Passive, I think, is how good is her passive? Passive insight is a 13. I have +3.
Okay.
So not great.
In that case, she might notice that as everyone's yelling, kill it, slaughter it, rip it apart. He's yelling very similar things, but he's yelling, kill him, rip him apart, slaughter him.
Interesting.
And
different pronouns.
There's just a moment where it might click to her that he's not here to watch the guy slaughter the beast. He's here to watch some guy get mauled to death.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen. Everyone here is kind of hoping that maybe they'll see that.
Oh, yeah.
Katira is aware of it. She doesn't understand the appeal yet, but she's aware of there is at least just statistically, she understands that mathematically it is impossible that everyone here is rooting for the Slaughterman. Especially considering the fact that he was a prolific serial killer.
Oh, yeah. Which, as a fun note, you're watching, he's soloing just him and a Cyclops in the arena, who has been, you see, one of the more wicked ones where people just kind of go, ooh, kind grabs up the knife and flings it through into the eye. Very much similar to how you saw down another giant. And like pulls the knife back to him, just seeming like telekinetically, or maybe it's part of the knife, just to his hand. And as it's like dripping in blood, he grabs it and just flings it up towards the crowd. And there's like shrieks on the other side. It sticks into like this barrier that forms a bubble over the top of it. And he starts to laugh and never forget. And it comes back to his hand. And for the finisher, he calls out to the crowd of, "Well then, do you want me to finish this?" And just kind of like is like trying to goad them into like cheering for him more to like basically get a wicked strike down because of the enchantment of this dagger. And people begin to rave and rave. Some in anger that they're losing bets that they thought he was going to have to be pulled back. They didn't think he would be able to handle it. And just all in all, you see the animosity. Just red energy begin to pulse over the dagger and like up his arms, through his veins, to his eyes. And he just like soaks it in, almost in like a moment of ecstasy, and then just in impossible strength flings the dagger into the creature and just you see it split down the middle. The dagger still like red hot and like suddenly vibrating into the sand below. You see like both halves of the Cyclops slowly pull apart and just on either side as he walks down the middle, just covered in blood, and picks up his dagger and just wipes it off on what remains of the flesh of the Cyclops.
It is strange. I imagine that was familiar to both of us for vastly different reasons.
Perhaps.
It would appear similar to how you described reveling in your emotions, and yet, to me, it is very similar to an astray. At least a young one.
Interesting.
As you all are
I
sitting
would like to know. I would like to know more about these astray you faced. I wish to understand what it is creates, and we did not have them where I am from.
It is
about
something, of course. It is. What I know of it is something to do with the planar energies of the planet that I served on.
What was its
The
name?
negative. A Demeter. The negative, absent energies seemed to leech everything away, almost.
A world of grey and ash.
And the weird thing on that as well is it leads you to a sense of numbness by overstimulation. You feel everything all at once, and it just never ends until you're just burnt out and can't feel anything, and then you become an astray.
Hence the need for removal or suppressing of the emotion. If you cannot feel anything, you cannot become inundated by it. And then you cannot become numb. Although I suppose in a way we are.
You know, it reminds me of an old friend. Used to call him Annie. I think he became an astray too for some time.
Did he recover?
Only right before his son nearly struck him down.
But there was redemption.
Some say so. I wasn't there myself. Old pal of mine was, but he died.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Everyone dies.
And Katira just kind of places a hand over her chest, over her heart, and just rubs, but she looks confused. Yes, I suppose they do.
And as you all are... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
He was just saying, well, it seems like the event's over. We should be going.
I was going to say, something does happen as you see what's essentially just a stick that like casts thaumaturgy as you speak through it, working as a microphone. You hear booming up through the Colosseum, this Slaughter King of Etherfort. My loyal acolytes. Tonight, a sin most foul was almost committed.
Oh, no.
And everybody's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Clearly not Wrath, because like, he's got that covered, but like, what? As he continues.
Katira has her quarterstaff.
There was an attempt to release me from my confines and set me out into the world. And people are now starting to be like, what? Is he serious? Is this a joke? But of course I couldn't pass upon this opportunity to stay and revel in the murder I get to take part in each day. You see now there are like guards starting to come out of like his entrance, and it's kind of clear now that this was unscripted.
Yep.
But fear not, friends. It would be to be a much better offer before I accepted wanton murder on their conditions. As he's like grabbed and starting to be pulled back and re-restrained, drops the dagger into the sand. I'll see you again shortly, acolytes. Unless, of course, I get a better offer from them soon. And then he's muzzled as the faint sound of like cackling can be heard as it's pulled away from as the like microphone is pulled away from him. And now people are like, "Oh, what the fuck? That's creepy."
I am still relearning these things, but I believe the correct description of this would be concerning.
As you say that and look over at Zunkir, you see there's a look in his eye that is just one of, not in a sexual sense, but just a look of pure lust. A just burning desire.
I want to animate that body.
And you hear him just not focus, like not realizing what's going on around him at all. Just say, "I'm going to have him."
In a strange way, Zonkiri, that is comforting.
What is?
Somehow, I am significantly less concerned for everyone here at the prospect of you having him than at the prospect of him having himself.
Well, then best to get to work, shall we?
I agree.
All right, Zungiri gets up and time to go back to work.
Oh yeah. he just threatened to potentially get out. This is a little concerning. We may have an active threat on our hands. I am not more concerned with Zonkiri. I know pretty much what Zonkiri would do.
What's the saying? Better the devil you know?
What would he do?
I mean, he's gonna animate him as an undead. We've seen what he's done with the undead so far.
No.
Not at all.
No, he's not.
Better Zinkiri. That I definitely wouldn't let him like anywhere near my planet for an extended period of time.
I think I know what Zonkiri would do because I know what the. I think he just. Yep.
I really hope he makes him into another crawling claw, or better.
Way.
Something more potent than a crawling claw. I'm sorry, I tell you. It would have to be a crawling claw the size of the shit you find in certain from soft games.
From a certain manor?
a certain fucking manner with a laser attached to it. Anyway.
I think he's gonna try to body jack his ass.
I
Don't
mean,
worry about it.
I mean,
Honestly,
strong of body,
still less-
strong of mind.
I'm not gonna lie, this is still less concerning to both Katira the character and Liv the player than this random ass crazy guy having that body and being loose.
Well, no. Here's the thing: is if Zonkiri ever stops possessing him, he will be loose amidst the party.
Oh God, I know what you're doing.
That's very bad.
Yes, yes, it is. It means that if at any point Zonkiri got knocked out while possessing him,
Oh
the
no.
guy would be up at full health around us.
Oh no.
Granted, assuming Zonkiri would actually possess him, I could very well be planning something far worse.
Yeah. Like, hey, here's the thing that I've noticed. Liv, you don't go about with the knowledge that Zonkiri's the scariest thing we've encountered so far because the professor's playing him. The professor's the scariest thing we've encountered so far.
Yeah.
Anything that the professor's planning could be the scariest thing we encounter.
But also, I'm not gonna lie. He went, "Oh, fellow soldier, do you need some help with your PTSD?" And Katira's brain
I understand Katira.
End shaped.
I understand Katira, but you
I don't know what
realize
necromancers can do, man.
it's what the professor can do.
Yeah. I want to set something straight here. Though they are of the same class, Fractal could have like 4 levels on Zenkiri, and Zenkiri would still come out of the fight alive and well. I'm too much of I'm too much of a fucking dunce done to do anything dangerous with Necromancer.
Pyro, it's funny you should mention that because the last DM that Zonkiri went up against, the one that the world he just came from, he went up against a level 20 Necromancer when he was level 9 and 1.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm just honest with myself that I don't have the chops to
can't
drill
teach
a
talent.
Necromancer.
Which is why I let you play a necromancer in my game. I don't have to be terrified.
Yeah, this is an entirely different situation. This is a case study in just how much of a fucking monster he is because we're both playing the same class, relatively in the same range of levels, and just 2 different campaigns. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna probably get up with something stupid. I'm not done, women. Stop.
No.
Yeah. He's going to burn down a planet minimum. I'm probably just going to blow up a tower along with myself. That's the range of destruction we're playing with here.
I promised Conroy I wouldn't wreck his world.
Well,
wait,
there's many worlds.
Plural or singular?
We have planets. There are multiple
I get to pick
worlds here.
one. He'll leave standing. All the others are fair game.
Listen,
you gave him interplanetary travel.
Look, if there was any justice in the world, Roy One would be nuking him right now. But there is no justice because he's not technically powerful.
Before we get carried away, in talking about the professor's fear levels. Let's
back to D&D.
Yeah, I was about to jump there. Is there anything else we wanted to do for this night? I assumed you all, after the show's wrapped up, I didn't think you all would stay for any of the, lesser bet stuff that's just less impressive. Yeah. The party's kind of dying down now. It's, late. It's, 2 a.m. It's...
Nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.
Yeah, and so... Y'all are just ready to retire at this point, I'm sure. Even though you all don't really sleep or need much of it. It's time to rest.
Yeah.
And
you say that. However, the witching hour starts at 3, so
yeah. Well, it means on Kira, you got another hour of preparation then. But yeah, I'm assuming you're staying. Are you buying your own rooms on Kira or?
I mean, Zonkiri would confess to Katira that he really doesn't have a room for the night and he has no idea where to go. So he'd take her recommendation.
Does Katira know how... Katira knows how he sleeps at this point.
Yeah.
How does he sleep again?
Similar to you, I imagine.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board on a bed.
I mean, you haven't seen him lying down sleeping anywhere. Anytime it's been nighttime and time for rest, you've seen him just enter like a lotus position meditative.
Right, he just kind of floats. Then Katira will just be like, "You can float in my room.
You can hang out. Oh,
you can hang out in my room. I already have a room."
Most appreciated, offering up your room to me.
You are welcome.
I'm too mature to listen to myself.
So yeah,
there is a reason that Liv asked how he sleeps.
So here's the thing: is we keep using the word sleep, but I will remind you guys, he's just sitting there floating with his eyes open, watching.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember from when Morgana and Zankiri had the staring contest every night.
It's the two trans characters. Put the two of them in a room with Morgana and be like, who is actually sleeping in this room? Raise your hand if you're not sleeping. All three of them raise their hands.
Speaking of Morgana.
Oh shit.
As you described, Shane, Morgana crashes and falls asleep in Andario's arms.
Other way around.
Or yeah, that's what I mean. You have her in a heavy embrace as you crash out. And rather than going inactive, you feel you fall deeper into unconsciousness. And you wake up, finding yourself once again by this tranquil pond scene. With rippling water. It's cool. You're surrounded by grass, and you have your flesh-like plates all over your body. You hear the chirping of birds, and you're not where you were. You're not in the hotel. You're somewhere else, and you're wearing different clothes. And as you look down, you have flesh legs for a moment, and then blink, and they're back to their plates. They still feel kind of flesh-like until you focus on them, and they're once again cold steel. You hear a discussion of someone around the corner. You see around you, there's some sort of what appears to be like a hammock and some personal effects. What would you like to do? Would you like to go and investigate the personal effects, or go see who's speaking around the corner?
Morgana will investigate the effects.
You see a series of carved wooden objects and personal trinkets for someone. The bed is unmade, the hammock rather is unmade. The items are kind of skewed about. Give me a religion or nature check.
Oh boy. Said religion or nature.
Mm-hmm.
Those have the same value.
You're not sure what it is about this place, but it feels like it's a home, even though it seems like it's in the middle of the woods, and you see this like layer of fog protruding around, forming a circle of some sort. It feels like you're in a home of some sort. Just from what you see around. And as you're looking, you see there's a small, I should say narrow staff of what appears to be some sort of dark wood with a bright green gem affixed to the top of it. Slightly undulating. Runes etched into the staff, also a light and pulse in sync with the gem.
Is it a written language kind of rune?
Sort of. It seems like there is a language to it. There also seems to be magic ones woven in beside them. I don't believe you speak this language, but you can go ahead and post your languages.
I have 2 languages.
Yeah, no.
Easy to track.
You don't recognize this one, but you might be able to understand. It's a uncommon form of language, spoken only among certain circles. That being somewhat literal. It reminds you of Druidic. You haven't really seen much, but you're able to recognize what it is somehow. But you can't read it, necessarily. Do you pick up the staff?
Morgana will look at the gem in the staff. You said it was on the top?
Mm-hmm.
You said it was green?
Yes.
Is she able to, like, look down at her chest?
You can.
Is it still the metal, or is Morgana still in that other form?
You kind of shift back and forth from them every now and then. But the more you focus on yourself, the more you resemble this metallic body. Do you think of opening up your chest and looking in?
Yes.
You hear the sound of like the ripping of flesh and snapping of bone. Your chest opens just as normal. And you see that same green gem that powers you matches the one atop the staff.
On hearing the noise.
And you start to hear a sound as you're staring at the gem, just a boop, 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 boop. It very much reminds you of a heartbeat. And both crystals seem to be in sync.
I'm gonna make this for myself. Okay. Alright. So Morgana will imagine her chest closing after that.
Similarly, this horrid sound of like flesh squelching together and sealing quickly, but it doesn't seem to affect it any differently than how you expect visually.
God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, upon hearing such noises, he's saying it sounds like body parts ripping and cracking.
Mm-hmm.
She will smile a little and lick her lips off of that.
Interesting.
That's a 3, baby. But she will try to grab the staff then.
You have a flash for a moment. Suddenly you're completely fleshy as you're holding it. You feel echoes of something just beyond some block, some wall in your mind. And you're suddenly aware that it's just you, not the we you normally refer yourself to as. There's just you, singular. Right here, right now. No violence protocol. Nothing else, just you. As you're holding the staff, it is leaning up against just a tree, and as the gem touches it, it begins to sprout on the side, and a branch begins to grow the longer you hold it to it.
After holding the staff for a moment and witnessing that, Morgana will drop it and back away from it.
Flowers begin to burst out of the ground at the tip of the gem, and then continue to spread.
Does Morgana still feel that singularness?
Yes. It begins to fade as you step away from the staff. And you see the fleshy body you have begin to split, almost like cuts appear on you. And then just dried blood now covers the plates as they reappear. And you think this should hurt, but it doesn't.
Morgana will grab her head and just start grinding her teeth as she's backing away from it.
You hear the voice call out across the way, from around the corner. There's a protruding rock in which this water is trickling out of that forms this pond. and from around the other side of it, you seem to hear, "Malira, are you all right, dear?" And your eyes open. Your body just kind of shifts, and you just almost instinctually you're just clocked into overdrive, just slightly vibrating as you're sitting there of whatever you just experienced. As you check the logs in your memory, there's a clocked break in operation, a gap in the logs spanning about the long rest period that you were seemingly just gone. There were no logs of you doing anything, it just skips.
What? We do not understand this. And Morgana will just cover her eyes. And then just look down to see if Andariel's still sleeping.
What's your passive perception, Morgana?
Passive, 14.
You look down at your arm, and you're tracing over it. And among the scrapes and bruises you see on you, there's a little, almost unnoticeable parts just along your arm. They, from what you just saw and how well you have that staff held, you see markings similar to how it had listed on it, traveling up your arms. As you continue to look over, it goes down your legs and over your torso, just almost indistinguishable from just the regular color of your body. But you become aware that you see these markings on yourself now that you become aware of them. They don't alight or glow, but they aren't fake. They aren't a hallucination. They're really just, they look like odd growth patterns, but they exist.
This is like out of the dream, right?
Yes, you're in the bed there with Andariel.
Okay. We will have to have this looked over. We do not understand it.
And now, dialed into it, you feel the faint pulsing of the crystal in your chest. Not quite a heartbeat. It doesn't sync up and get affected like a heartbeat. Just a steady pulsing of energy. You feel it shift through your body over and over. You can choose to just try and numb yourself to the sound of it, but it's still there, whether you tune into it or not. And you're not sure if it was there before or not. Maybe you just weren't aware of it. But there's something about it, just slightly maddening to suddenly hear your heartbeat after not having one. But it's not your heart. It shouldn't be weird. It's still off-putting. You just kind of sit there, hearing the boop 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 boop. And I think that, unless you had anything else you wanted to do, make for a great stopping point for tonight.
Ooh, heartbeat.
Oh yeah. It's about 20 minutes earlier than I usually go, but it feels like a really great part.
Yeah.
And it opens us up for the next day, or the next session, to have a really quick intro as you all get to the congressional ball area. So I think this is going to be a great place for us to stop. So thank you all for joining us, players and viewers.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it next week. See you all then.
I'm not dead.